At the graduation party, I met a beautiful campus girl. 3 months later, I received a call from the school beauty. Yi Chen, I'm pregnant, the child is yours. I just graduated, I don't have a job, and I don't have many children. How do I live now that I suddenly have a wife and children? Ding, congratulations on awakening the nanny system. The first time a fetus feels happy, a cash reward of 1 million will be given. Change your baby's diaper for the first time, and you'll get a luxury sports car as a reward. Feed your baby for the first time, and get a river view mansion as a reward. Just now, in the hotel room, as soon as Yi Chen opened his eyes, he was dazzled by the sunlight outside the window and squinted his eyes. He raised his right hand to block it and looked around. I actually saw a woman lying next to me. And the mess on the ground. The woman was facing away from Yi Chen, and her upper body was naked. Seeing this, Yi Chen was shocked, because he has no clothes on either. Now his head really hurt, and he knew it was the result of a hangover. I really drank too much last night. He slapped his head and recalled quickly. He clearly remembered that last night, his girlfriend Lee Avey wanted to break up with him. The reason was that his father's company had some problems and was about to collapse. Originally, he didn't want his girlfriend to know so as to avoid her worrying about him. Unexpectedly, Lee Avey got wind of the news that his family was going bankrupt, so she insisted on breaking up with him. In fact, after his father's company received financial financing, it quickly returned to normal, but its assets shrank a little, and it did not go bankrupt. However, rumors outside were still spreading everywhere. So after breaking up with him, his girlfriend quickly hooked up with another rich guy. Yi Chen was also sad. After all, it was a 3-year relationship, so he went to find a bar to get drunk. As for what happened afterwards, he couldn't remember it at all. Looking at the woman in front of him with her beautiful back exposed, and her back facing away from him, he was really panicked. I must have been drunk, and she had brought me here out of kindness, but I was so mean to her. He gently turned sideways and felt all the muscles in his body aching. OMG, how brave was I last night? Just as he found his pants from the clothes on the floor and put them on, the person on the bed moved. Ugh! The woman screamed, causing both of them to be embarrassed. The woman pulled the quilt over to cover her face and shouted at Yi Chen. You turn around. Yi Chen didn't dare to say no, and turned around immediately. I heard a few bang-bang sounds behind me, as if someone lost his balance and fell to the ground. Then a pair of slender hands reached out and took away a small piece of clothing at Yi Chen's feet. Yi Chen took a deep breath and calmed himself down. After the voices behind him fell silent, Yi Chen dared to ask, "Excuse me, are you all right? Can we talk? We have nothing to talk about. Actually, there is nothing to talk about. We are all adults. Just pretend that nothing happened last night." By now, Yi Chen had already turned around and was about to say something, but he saw a young girl rubbing her knees while walking towards the gate. Since the woman is so free and easy, Yi Chen, as a man, naturally has nothing to say. With a bang, the door was closed. Yi Chen was massaging his temples because of his headache, but out of the corner of his eye, he saw something shocking. On the bed sheet is falling red. As a man, I naturally understand what this means. It turns out that I am a beast. He ate up a woman he had never even met. This. But girls don't want to take responsibility for themselves. How about going to the hotel and checking the surveillance to see who it is? When we meet next time, it would be better to take care of him. After all, you have to be responsible for what you did to others. While thinking, I looked for clothes to put on, and under one of her clothes, she actually covered up a student ID card that was hanging around her neck. Yi Chen quickly picked up the student ID and took a look. Liu Yina, a senior in the fine arts department. I looked at the photo on the student card in front of me and realized that this was Liu Yina, who was in the same school and grade as me. She is the recognized beauty in the school, the dream girl of all the men in school. Surprisingly so innocent. OMG, this is too shocking. Novel, the guy accidentally slept with a top goddess and picked up her meal card. Although Yi Chen himself is quite handsome, Liu Yina has that otherworldly beauty, the kind that is so beautiful that it is untouchable. People usually praise her beauty behind her back, but no one dares to desecrate her. Yi Chen is a man after all, so naturally he has had feelings for beautiful women. I really didn't expect that I would be eaten by myself. On the back of the student card, there is a small note. If you find it, please call 134, thank you. Yi Chen immediately took out his mobile phone, wrote down Liu Yina's phone number, and sent her a WeChat friend request. Until the afternoon, Yi Chen made a note in the friend request. Your student card is left with me. Only then did Liu Yina accept Yi Chen's friend request. Yi Chen quickly sent her a message. I'm so sorry. Where are you now? I'll send you the student card. Liu Yina took a long time to reply. After class, put your student card under the bench next to the third trash can on the second campus road before 6 o'clock. I will pick it up. We will not meet again in the future. Yi Chen looked at the message on his phone and covered his face with a painful expression. I sighed in my heart, what a bastard I am. Just like that, 3 months passed, and it was soon time for winter vacation. After the winter break of my senior year, I basically spent the second semester doing internships outside, and then I could graduate after passing the exams. In the municipal maternal and child health hospital. In the hospital corridor, Liu Yina was holding a test report and an ultrasound report in her hands. Her eyes were empty and she was crying helplessly. The doctor's words kept echoing in her mind. Congratulations, you are pregnant, and you are pregnant with triplets. This is an extremely rare natural pregnancy of triplets in our city and even in the whole country. Congratulations. She originally just wanted to have a crazy night with her beloved, but now she is pregnant. And they are triplets, and they are already 3 months old. The doctor said that if I abort the babies, I will most likely not be able to be a mother again. What should I do? Her family didn't know about this yet, and she didn't know what to do next, or what to do with her child. So she tremblingly picked up the phone and dialed Yi Chen's number. Yi Chen, are you free now? The moment the call was connected, she could no longer hold back her tears. Liu Yina's painful cry was heard over the phone. Yi Chen was also frightened by her call. What's wrong? Don't cry first. I'm always free. Where are you now? I'll find you right away. I'm in the hospital now, at the Municipal Maternal and Child Health Hospital. Liu Yina said sobbingly on the phone. Soon Yi Chen found Liu Yina in the hospital. She was crying. Yi Chen sat down next to her and handed her a pack of tissues. What happened? Are you sick? Yi Chen was also very confused. He had always been very self-disciplined and had never done anything improper. He shouldn't have that kind of disease, right? After wiping away her tears, Liu Yina handed a report in her hand to Yi Chen with red eyes. Yi Chen took the report with a puzzled look and read it carefully. After a long while, Yi Chen took a deep breath. 3 triplets. Yes, Liu Yina is pregnant with triplets, and it's been 3 months. 3 months, the best time for abortion, has passed. If you really don't want it now and force it to be aborted, that would be too cruel. Liu Yina also felt helpless and reluctant, so she had to call Yi Chen to see what he thought. If he was really willing to take the responsibility, then she would give birth to the child. If not, she really didn't know what to do. Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen's reaction and tears came again. I originally thought that my menstruation was irregular, and it was winter, so I ate a lot, so I didn't pay attention. But recently my stomach has always felt hard, so I searched, and it seems that I am pregnant, so I came to the hospital for a checkup. Woo-woo-woo. Novel, the cold school beauty, has always had a crush on the boy. Not only did she sleep with him, she also got pregnant with his child. Yi Chen is still in shock, his eyes wide open. Liu Yina wiped away her tears. Actually, I have liked you since the beginning of school, but you already have a girlfriend, so I didn't want to disturb you. That day on the street outside the school, I saw you arguing with your girlfriend, and then that day I saw you coming out of the bar drunk and I didn't care about you, so I don't blame you for everything. It's all because I like you. I really didn't think of breaking you up. But now the child is already 3 months old and they are triplets. If you really don't want them anymore, I will definitely cooperate with you. But, woo-woo, if I really abort the child, I may never be able to be a mother again. Woo. Yi Chen came back to his senses and looked at the woman in front of him who was confessing her love to him, and his heart suddenly warmed up. I also have a good impression of Liu Yina. After all, she is also a school beauty. It was just that Li Avi was pursuing him too closely at that time, and it is naturally easier for a girl to pursue a boy, and the man also understands this. To be honest, he's really not ready yet. He's already a father before he even graduated. It's really hard to describe. However, not to mention how much harm abortion would do to a woman's body if the baby was aborted, Liu Yina would never be able to get pregnant in the future. Wouldn't I have ruined her life? Moreover, she is such a chaste woman. To be honest, in today's society, there should be very few such good girls, right? And she is so beautiful. If I could marry her, I would have a wife and children. Besides, he is not the kind of irresponsible man who would not recognize anyone after pulling up his pants. And these are triplets, so you can have 3 children at once. It's just hard for the mother. She has to give birth to 3 children in one pregnancy. Therefore, he absolutely cannot be a Chen Shaimai. He must take up the responsibility. He must be the child's father. He must be a good father. As a man, you should shoulder the responsibilities that a man should bear. Ding, congratulations to the host for making the most correct choice and awakening the good father system. If the system is successfully bound for the first time, the host will be given a 200 square meter luxury city villa. Suddenly, a very mechanical voice sounded in Yi Chen's mind. Yi Chen was stunned. What system? Isn't this something that only exists in novels? He is a senior novel fan, so he naturally knows what the system is. What he didn't expect the most was that the first gift from the system was actually a villa. It's still a villa in the city. Although a 200 square meter city villa is not very big, the price of a house in the city center is at least more than 20 million. OMG, what kind of tycoon system is this? Yi Chen muttered to himself. Hello, host, the system assistant is here to answer your questions. Is there anything you want to know? OMG, it turned out to be a system. It turned out that I was not dreaming. At this time, Yi Chen was sure that he had been selected by the system. So he quickly asked the system, Excuse me, where is this villa in the city? Hello, host, the system assistant is answering your questions. The villa awarded by the system is located in Dijingyuan in the city center. It has been renovated and is ready for you to move in. The property title will be sent to you soon, so you can move in directly. Yi Chen couldn't help but be secretly surprised. It really felt like a dream. He actually had a system. In other words, is my life about to start to change? After thinking about it, Yi Chen's heart couldn't help but become extremely excited. I never expected that I would have a wife, a child, and a super awesome system in just one day. Now it seems that my choice was right. Now that I have a house, all I need is money. After all, I have to support my wife and 3 children. Not counting the money for prenatal checkups, food, and clothing during pregnancy, I also have to buy 3 sets of milk powder, diapers, and other things for the children after they are born. This is quite stressful. Who knows, I might not be able to take care of 3 children by then, and I might have to hire a confinement nanny and a babysitter. After all, no matter how hard it is, I can't let my wife and children suffer. Moreover, I don't know whether this system is stable or not. If I want to make money, I have to find a stable job first. Novel, an accident, the guy slept with the school beauty and made her pregnant, so he was bound to the father system. However, he didn't fully understand the whole system, so he asked, Then what can I do to get more rewards? Report to the master. As long as you spend money on the children and interact with your wife and children, you can get corresponding rewards. In addition, there is a chance to trigger special rewards. If you complete enough tasks, you can also upgrade. So you should take better care of your wife and children, and the rewards you get will be even greater. Listening to the introduction of the system, Yi Chen was a little confused. Is that how you get the reward? It would be nice if you could get the reward so easily. At least for him now, it's not bad for an unemployed vagrant. Now, with the help of the system, the pressure on me will be less in the future, and I can just make money with peace of mind. Call. Yi Chen was silent for a while and took a deep breath. He hugged Liu Yina in his arms and said with a firm look in his eyes, Let's get married. Liu Yina wiped away her tears, looked up at Yi Chen, her eyes full of surprise. Yi Chen actually wants to marry me. My idol is going to marry me. At this moment, she finally understood what the TV drama meant by a mother's status depends on her son. If she didn't have a child, then the night she spent with Yi Chen would have been nothing more than a dream. However, she also understood better how much pressure Yi Chen would face if he married her. Is this true, then your girlfriend? To be honest, she was also very touched, but if her intervention broke up other people, then she would really be guilty. Li Awei and I broke up a long time ago. When you saw us arguing that time, we were breaking up at that time. Yi Chen answered truthfully. He didn't want Liu Yina to have any psychological burden, and he wanted her to understand that when they were together that night, they were 2 single people. Then are you willing to marry me and have children for me? Yi Chen's eyes were full of anticipation. Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen's expectant and determined eyes, gritted her teeth secretly, and said, Yes, I am willing. Being able to be with you is something I never dared to think about before. Yi Chen also hugged Liu Yina excitedly. Don't worry, I will never let you and the children starve. I will be responsible for you. Winter vacation is coming soon, and Yi Chen had originally planned to stay at home. But now that he has a wife and children, he has to temporarily rent a villa in Xiangcheng, and then invite both parents to discuss the marriage together. It's easy to solve the problem with my own parents, but I don't know how to solve it with the girl's parents. This is also a troublesome matter. After all, it is a troublesome matter that I created myself. I have to do it even if I have to bite the bullet. Yi Chen returned to the dormitory and carefully sorted out what he needed to do. He should first explain everything to his parents, and then notify the girl's parents. Thinking of this, he sent a WeChat message to Liu Yina. Liu Yina quickly replied, "I will follow your arrangements." After receiving the message, Yi Chen also felt some strange emotions in his heart. After all, his first girlfriend was beautiful and bold, and he put her first in everything. Now Liu Yina gave him the feeling that she was more like a woman, dependent, gentle, and considerate. Soon, Yi Chen received an expedited delivery in the evening, which was the title deed of the villa. Yi's parents also received Yi Chen's message and hurriedly drove from the suburbs with their household registration book to find Yi Chen. In the hotel private room, "You little brat, tell me now, what the hell is going on? Why did they say in the message that we're going to be grandparents soon? You're scaring me to death. Didn't you break up with Li Awei a few months ago? Why are you getting married now that she's pregnant? We've been apart for a few months, and now I'm telling you that I have a child. Is it yours? Don't be a cheap dad just for love." Yi's mother asked repeatedly, but Yi's father just sat there with a serious face and said nothing. Novel, a guy broke up with his girlfriend for several months, and a woman came to his house saying she was pregnant. Yi Chen hurried forward to calm his mother down. "Mom, it's not Li Awei. She and I have really broken up for several months. It's not her." "What? Now what's going on with this girl?" Yi's mother still looked very cautious. After all, this matter affected her son's lifelong happiness. She had never even met the girl, nor had she got to know her. She didn't like her son's previous girlfriend very much. She thought she was too snobbish. But her son liked her, so it was not easy to stop young people from dating, right? Yes, yes. Yi Chen now just wanted to dig a hole and jump into it. It would be a bad idea to say that he got into trouble because he was drunk, as that would not be a good evaluation of the girls. Right after I broke up with Li Awei, I got together with that girl and got pregnant. I've been pregnant for more than 3 months now, and it's triplets. Yi Chen had no choice but to tell a beautiful lie and pass over this part. Three triplets? Yi's mother stared at her good son in disbelief. Give yourself 3 grandchildren at once. In her mind, she has already gone through everything from the milk powder and diapers her grandchild will need to graduating from college, getting married, and having a baby. Did I hear it right? Mom, you heard it right, it's true. Yi Chen tactfully placed the ultrasound report he got from Liu Yina in front of his mother. Looking at the test report in front of her, Yi's mother finally believed what Yi Chen said. Yi Chen then told another white lie, saying that he had made nearly 10 million yuan from stock trading during his college years, and then paid a down payment to buy a villa in the city center. He already had a wedding house, so his mother and father didn't need to worry. Yi Chen can be considered a small second-generation rich man, even if his father's company had problems before and now only has 1 factory left. However, Yi Chen's pocket money used to be nearly 1 million a year. Otherwise, why would Li Awei be with him? But now the Yi family is in decline, and the money they earn is less than 1/10 of what they used to earn. If they want to raise a few children, although his parents have some money after going through a crisis, they probably don't have much left. Yi's mother and father believed Yi Chen's words, and the family of 3 discussed some things about the marriage, as well as arranging a meeting between both parents as soon as possible. Yi Chen and Liu Yina have also communicated on WeChat. Her parents will arrive in Xiangcheng by bus tomorrow afternoon, so they can arrange a meeting tomorrow night and visit the new villa by the way. Tomorrow Liu Yina will have lunch with Yi's father and mother and buy some daily necessities and health care products for pregnant women. She must be polite. After all, once they enter this family, they will all be a family, and of course they have to get along well with each other. After they meet, they will discuss the matter of having the baby. Yi Chen was also full of sighs. He never dreamed that he would have a wife, children, and a house within 1 day. Yi's father and mother stayed in the hotel tonight, and Yi Chen sent a message to Liu Yina. "Nana, do you want to have a midnight snack? I just finished chatting with my parents. I'm going back to school. What do you want to eat? I'll bring it to you." Liu Yina was always by her phone, and when she saw Yi Chen addressing her on the phone, her face suddenly turned red and her heart started beating fast. After all, she had never been in a relationship, and now that she saw the person she liked calling her so intimately, her heart was so sweet. She smiled foolishly while holding the phone and replied, "Sure, I want to eat roast chicken, thank you, dear." Now that they are about to get married, she is confident that she will make Yi Chen fall in love with her. After sending the message, She held the phone tightly against her chest with a sweet smile on her face. About 15 minutes later, Yi Chen brought the roast chicken to the downstairs of the girls' dormitory and sent a message to Liu Yina. Liu Yina was wearing a bulky cotton-padded jacket, and her belly had begun to bulge slightly, so she looked a little clumsy. Novel, the boy's family went bankrupt and he was dumped by his girlfriend. Unexpectedly, he was spotted by the school beauty. When the people around saw this, they began to whisper, "Oh my God, when did the school beauty get a boyfriend? Oh my God, doesn't that mean I have no chance? Who is this guy? He looks handsome, but he's been spotted by the school beauty." Everyone was very curious about Yi Chen, and at this time someone recognized him. "I know, isn't that Li Awei's ex-boyfriend from the music department? Is it him, the man who was dumped by the pretty girl in the music department? I heard that his family went bankrupt, so he was dumped. Now Li Awei is hooking up with another rich second-generation guy. I really didn't expect it. After being dumped by Li Awei, he turned around and hooked up with the school beauty. That's incredible. When did these two get together?" Amid the murmurs of the crowd, Liu Yina took the midnight snack from Yi Chen. She stood on tiptoe, kissed Yi Chen on the face, and said to him, "Dear, don't care what others say, you are the best." This made the people around him dumbfounded. They originally thought that Yi Chen was pursuing the school belle, but unexpectedly, it was the school belle who was interested in Yi Chen. This is huge news. At this moment, the mechanical sound of the system sounded in Yi Chen's mind again. "Beep, if you make the baby happy for the first time, you will be rewarded 1 million yuan. Oh my God, can I have $1 million just like this?" The phone dinged, and a message came in that 1 million yuan had arrived, but Yi Chen didn't look at his phone. Instead, he ignored everyone's strange looks and hugged the bloated Liu Yina in his arms. "From now on, I will protect my wife and children by myself. I will never let others hurt them." The people around also booed and then dispersed. That night, the headlines were about Yi Chen and school beauty Liu Yina, and their interaction just now was photographed by many people and posted online, and spread throughout the entire network in their respective groups. A bankrupt rich second generation hooks up with a cool school beauty and becomes her overbearing boyfriend. The daily life of a gorgeous school girl and her loser boyfriend, and so on. Under these videos, there are many sour people making sarcastic remarks. After Yi Chen separated from Liu Yina, he returned to his dormitory. At this time, the roommates in the dormitory were all waiting for him. They watched Yi Chen slowly walk into the dormitory. Mr. Li Lijai couldn't wait to ask Yi Chen, "Boss Yi, I can't believe you hit it so well." "Yeah, when did you get together? Why are you only making it public now? Tell me about it soon." "Have you gotten on yet?" asked Mr. and Chen Xiaoan with ill intention. As soon as Yi Chen returned to the dormitory, he lay down directly on the sofa chair next to the computer. He was really exhausted after a whole day. Several people in the dormitory surrounded him immediately. Yi Chen saw that everyone was chasing him and asking questions. "Don't look at me like that, I'm in love with her." After listening to Yi Chen's words, several people in the dormitory immediately started gossiping. "Liu Yina, she is the only campus beauty of Xiangcheng University. She is also the goddess in their hearts. But now she is with Yi Chen. How can they not be envious and jealous? Oh my God, you're really good. You can even chase the school beauty. Awesome, even a love expert like me has to admire you. You even managed to win over a cool goddess like Liu Yina. I still want to know, have you ever had an in-depth communication?" However, Yi Chen's next words shocked everyone even more. "She and I should be getting married soon. If we have planned the wedding, please come and be my brother and drink in our wedding wine." "Who?" Yi Chen's words quickly made the three people present fall into silence and astonishment. A moment later, Big Liu Ming was the first to speak. "Is this true or false?" "What a big deal, kid. Getting married right after graduation," Yi Chen said with certainty. "Well, it's decided. I should be able to get married during this winter vacation." Novel, the beautiful schoolgirl took advantage of the drunken boy and deliberately let him sleep with her, and she got pregnant with his triplets. After all, Liu Yina is already 3 months old, and she has triplets. If they get any older, she probably won't be able to hide them. I don't know what she means, whether she wants to get the marriage certificate before holding the wedding, or have the baby first and then hold the wedding. It is better to discuss all this with the parents of both parties. The three people in the dormitory were still shocked by the news that the two were going to get married. After agreeing to Yi Chen's request, they all got busy again. After all, they didn't believe that Yi Chen would really get married, and just thought it was a joke. The next morning, Yi Chen came to the girls' dormitory to pick up Liu Yina to have morning tea with his parents. While Yi Chen was waiting for Liu Yina, a small incident happened. Yi Chen's ex-girlfriend Li Avi unexpectedly appeared downstairs of the girls' dormitory, as if she wanted to meet Yi Chen by chance. Li Awei walked towards Yi Chen and said with a sneer on her face, "Yi Chen, you are really amazing. You actually hooked up with Liu Yina. Your father is bankrupt now. What capital do you have to be with Liu Yina?" Yi Chen was also a little speechless. "Who told you that my dad is bankrupt?" At this moment, Liu Yina's voice came from behind. "Yi Chen." Yi Chen turned around when he heard the voice. Liu Yina had already walked over to him, hugged Yi Chen's arm, and extended her right hand to Li Awei. "Hello, I am Yi Chen's girlfriend." Li Awei rolled her eyes at Liu Yina and said, "Let's see how long you can last." After saying that, he walked away angrily. Liu Yina withdrew her hand, somewhat embarrassedly. People around were also talking about it. After all, Yi Chen has already broken up with Li Avi, so what qualifications does he have to curse here? Last night, because Liu Yina was the school belle, the story between the three of them had already spread throughout the school. Yi Chen quickly explained to Liu Yina, "There is really nothing between her and me, believe me." "Are you kidding me? How could he care about a woman who got into another man's car less than 5 minutes after breaking up with him?" Liu Yina smiled and said, "I know, let's go. We can't keep uncle and aunt waiting too long." Yi Chen looked at the gentle and lovely Liu Yina and felt a little moved. Yi Chen let Liu Yina hold his arm and left the school to meet up with his parents at the hotel. There were quite a few people talking along the way, but the two of them pretended not to see anything and just went their own way. Seeing that their son got along well with his girlfriend, Yi Chen's parents felt relieved. After all, they were also worried that the two would get married on impulse because of the issue of children. After all, marriage is a big event in life. The first time Liu Yina saw Yi's father and mother, she greeted them very obediently. "Uncle, aunt." Father Yi's serious face finally smiled and nodded. But Yi's mother came forward and said, "You are Ine, hello." The two of them quickly got along well, and Yi's mother liked Liu Yina's well-behaved and easygoing personality very much. The family chatted while eating breakfast. After breakfast, Yi's mother already knew Liu Yina's basic family situation. Liu Yina's mother is a teacher, and her father is a businessman who owns a company. Her family conditions are pretty good. Her background is simple, and she received a very good family education. The marriage has to wait for Liu Yina's parents to discuss it together. Just after they finished breakfast, Liu Yina's parents called. "Nana, are you in school now, or somewhere else?" Liu's mother asked anxiously. Liu Yina replied with some confusion. "Mom, I'm not in school now. I'm having breakfast with Yi Chen's parents. What's wrong?" "Your father and I have already arrived in Xiancheng. We just got off the highway. Where did you have breakfast? Let's go find you." "Mom, how come you got here so soon? Didn't you say you would arrive in the afternoon?" Liu Yina asked in surprise. "After all, my parents are in the county town, and it would take 3 or 4 hours to drive to Xiancheng. The estimated time yesterday was the time for taking the bus because there were no tickets for the high-speed rail." Novel, the school beauty slept with the boy without telling her parents and got pregnant with his child, but was exposed due to the location of her cell phone. "But I didn't expect that my parents would arrive at 11:30 in the morning. Your father and I found out about you last night. We couldn't sleep at all, so we took a taxi here at 6 or 7 in the morning. We couldn't wait any longer. Send me your location on your phone and we'll come look for you." After Liu Yina hung up the phone, she quickly sent a location to her parents and told Yi Chen and Yi Chen's parents that her parents would be there soon. After hearing this, Yi Chen's parents immediately said that they would hold a banquet in the private room to entertain Liu Yina's parents. Soon, Liu Yina's parents came to the private room. The two parents greeted each other politely and sat down. "I think my in-laws haven't had breakfast yet. How about we order some food first?" Mother Yi asked Mother Liu with a smile. "I asked the waiters to prepare breakfast. After all, it was our first meeting, and I didn't want others to see the leftovers." The waiter handed each person a menu and waited quietly on the side. Mother Liu glanced at the menu and said to the waiter, "Let's just serve the first few signature dishes and see if they need anything else." Mother Yi smiled and said, "We don't need that. I just finished breakfast with Nana. Let's have a few signature dishes and a serving of vegetables." Liu's mother also nodded, and the few of them exchanged a few words of greeting before starting to discuss the marriage of their two children. Mother Liu glanced at Yi Chen and said, "What is your family's attitude toward these two children?" Yi's mother said, "My dear relatives, don't worry. I am very happy with Nana. After the two children get married, they can live on their own if they want. We don't object if they want to live with us. When they have children in the future, it depends on Nana's opinion. We will definitely need a nanny to help with the triplets. Don't worry, our family will never treat Nana badly. Our Yi Chen is a good child and will definitely not let Nana down. Yi Chen immediately interrupted. Auntie, don't worry, I will definitely treat Nana well. Now that you have come to the stage of getting married, your wife is beautiful and talented, and she has given birth to children for you, so you must be good to her. Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen and smiled sweetly. I was right about him. Mother Liu glanced at her silly daughter and felt relieved. But I still had some questions in my mind, so I asked, what about their house? Yi Chen said, Auntie, I have already bought a house. It is a 200-square-meter villa in Dijingyuan in the city center. Although it is a bit small, if you want to buy a bigger one in the future, you can buy another one. I have a car at home, so I will buy a new one when I get married. When Liu's mother heard that the in-laws already had a house and a car, and their family was financially strong, she was quite satisfied with the marriage. Moreover, Yi Chen seemed to be a good person and did not look like one of those men who go out and have affairs. Thinking of this, Mr. and Mrs. Liu finally put their minds at ease after worrying about what they had been doing last night. After all, they also want their daughters to live a better life. It's not that they want them to marry into a wealthy family, but at least the future in-laws should be reasonable and not barbaric. But now the family background of this in-law is not bad, and the boy he chose has good character and parents-in-law, so both parents are relieved. However, they were also worried that the other party was just saying it looked nice, but it wasn't real, so they suggested going to their wedding room to take a look, so that they wouldn't have to get lost when they come to see their daughter in the future. So the family discussed and decided to go to Dijingyuan to take a look at the environment after lunch. After dinner, the group took a 7-seater special car to Dijingyuan. When getting off the car, Yi Chen carefully helped Liu Yina out, as if he was afraid that she might have an accident. Liu Yina held Yi Chen's hand and felt warm in her heart. Yi's parents and Liu's parents looked at the young couple and smiled knowingly. As long as the children are doing well, they will feel at ease. A group of 6 people went straight to the sales office. Novel, the young man's family went bankrupt, but because he got a beautiful schoolgirl pregnant, he was supported by his wealthy father-in-law. Hello, are you here to see the house? The salesperson immediately stepped forward and greeted. Yi Chen calmly took out the red book and said to the salesperson, Hello, I'm here to get the key to my house and to go look at the house. When the salesperson took a look, he realized that this was indeed the red book of the house in their property. So I immediately called the manager over to entertain them. The manager came out of the office, took a look at the red book, and immediately stepped forward to greet him. Number 8, Dijingyuan. Oh, it's Mr. Yi. I received a notice from my superiors last night and I'm waiting for you here. The key is with me. I'll take you to see the house. Last night, his superior suddenly sent him a notice, saying that a Mr. Yi would come to see his villa tomorrow, and instructed him to receive him and give the key to Mr. Yi. When Liu's parents saw that they had actually bought a house, they were completely relieved, and they were also relieved for their daughter. To be honest, it is really difficult to get married without buying a house. They had planned to discuss with each other's parents early on, and the 2 families would work together to buy a house for the couple, or they would pay the down payment. After all, this young couple just graduated and hasn't started working yet, but they already have a child. Their life must be difficult, so I'll help them if I can. It's nice to see that my in-laws are so supportive now. Looking at the 200-square-meter detached villa in front of them, Liu's parents liked it more and more. Mr. Yi, this villa has been renovated for a year. You can move in at any time without any problems. The materials used in it are the best and most environmentally friendly. You can rest assured, the sales manager explained. This is the city center. It should be quite expensive, right? Asked Liu's mother. The sales manager replied, Mr. Yi bought his house a year ago. At that time, the price was only about 100,000 yuan per square meter. This year, the price has risen to nearly 200,000 yuan. Small villas like this are still very popular, especially villa complexes like ours. The surrounding environment and facilities are very complete. There are places for primary schools, kindergartens, and middle schools. Many people will choose our property. Yi Chen also didn't know when he bought the house. He only knew that he received the house deed yesterday. If the house has been renovated for a year now, then he could move in at any time without any problem, even if he was pregnant. After all, Liu Yina is pregnant now, and it is not suitable for her to live in the dormitory anymore. It would be better for her to move in earlier. Mr. Yi, if there is nothing else, I won't bother you. Yeah, okay, Yi Chen replied. The sales manager brought Yi Chen and others to the front of the villa, greeted everyone, and then went about his business. Yi Chen said, "Nana, how about we live here first?" Liu Yina glanced at her parents, then at Yi's parents, and smiled. "I'll listen to you." After getting to know Yi Chen these 2 days, I became more satisfied with him and liked him more. The person I like is such a good person with such a good personality and sense of responsibility. So I am naturally very happy. Seeing the young couple discussing things, Yi's parents were also very happy. As parents, they just wanted the young couple to live a good life. But Yi's mother quietly pulled Yi Chen aside and asked, "Where did you get the money? You bought it a year ago." Yi Chen replied, "Mom, don't worry, my money is clean. I won't do anything illegal. I'm not afraid to tell you that I've made a lot of money in the past few years by investing in stocks with the pocket money my family gave me. But when the time comes to get married, you might have to pay a little bit." Yi's mother was relieved now. "We have been saving the money for you to marry a wife. I am still worried about your future life. We will help you if we can." Novel, the beauty deliberately slept with the boy when he was drunk and got pregnant with triplets, threatening her mother to get married. Yi Chen was thinking at this moment that with the system in the future, he wouldn't have to worry about money. So he said to his mother, "Mom, don't worry, I will definitely go out to work when the time comes, and I won't let Nana and the children suffer with me. I will take this responsibility." Liu's mother also heard this and thought that this young man was quite responsible. She should help the young couple in the future if she could. Winter vacation is almost here now, so she can come here and help them then. When Liu's mother looked at the small villa, she felt comforted and sighed that her daughter had finally found a good family. However, she felt a little regretful that she had to become a mother at such a young age. So he pulled Liu Yina aside and whispered, "Have you really decided?" Liu Yina said softly, "Yeah." Mother Liu also sighed. "Then you have to put your studies aside. After all, you are pregnant with triplets and it is still very painful in the later stages. I think your parents-in-law are reasonable, and Yi Chen is also a responsible person. I hope you didn't choose the wrong person. After you get married, don't act like a child anymore. Focus on your family and take good care of it." After hearing this, Liu Yina also replied in a low voice, "Yes, Mom, I know." Liu Yina glanced at Yi Chen and felt sweet in her heart when she thought that the man she would spend the rest of her life with would be her beloved man. So after the two families visited the villa, they quickly discussed the marriage of their 2 children in the lobby of the villa. Let the 2 children move in here in the afternoon, and then hire an auntie to help take care of their daily life. The wedding will be held after the child is born. The man's family will give a dowry of 288,888 yuan, and the woman's dowry will be a car and some other miscellaneous items. Everything has been almost settled. In the afternoon, I went to the dormitory to pack some clothes, and Liu Yina basically had to change into maternity clothes because she was pregnant with triplets. Her belly was already as big as a normal 4-month-old belly. So we went together to buy all the things we needed in the evening. At night, the parents also returned home. Liu's parents stayed in a hotel. Tomorrow is the day for them to get their marriage certificate. Yi Chen looked at the packed living room and felt that time pass so quickly. During these 2 days, my lifelong event has been decided. It all really seems like a dream. Yi Chen looked at Liu Yina, who was resting on the sofa. Maybe because of the pregnancy, her face, which used to be a pointed oval face, has now become a round oval face, with a high nose, round and bright black eyes, and delicate facial features. Liu Yina is a goddess-level beauty to all the boys in Xiangda University. Her beauty is naturally beyond doubt, and unlike those girls who have had plastic surgery, she is a genuine natural beauty. It's a pity that she always looks aloof on weekdays, making people feel distant from her. Therefore, those boys only praised her behind her back and gave her the title of the most beautiful campus beauty, but few dared to talk to her. Maybe it was because of this reason that she had never been in a relationship until she graduated. Let's not talk about Yi Chen's other things. Just his handsome face, although not as handsome as the school hunk, still fascinated a lot of female classmates. Yi Chen is also a man. Before Li Avi caught his attention, he naturally had feelings for her. Unfortunately, Li Avi made a move on him. Seeing that Li Avi was infatuated with him and was not bad-looking, Yi Chen naturally agreed. Until now, Yi Chen looked at Liu Yina, who was resting in front of him. He really had never thought that he and Liu Yina would get married. Moreover, it was Liu Yina who confessed to him first. Liu Yina also noticed that Yi Chen was looking at her at this time, and her face suddenly turned red. She blinked a few times and asked in a tender voice, "Why are you looking at me? Is there anything dirty on my face?" Yi Chen smiled and said, "You are so beautiful." Liu Yina didn't expect that Yi Chen would praise her so bluntly, and her face turned red to her ears. Novel, a beautiful schoolgirl has a crush on a boy and gets married with him. But before getting married, she asks him if he is sure. Yi Chen's words quickly brought the two closer together. Thinking back on the times they had been together, Liu Yina felt that it all passed so quickly. Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen stupidly and seemed to have something on her mind. She asked Yi Chen in a low voice, "Have you really decided to marry me?" Yi Chen was stunned and then immediately said, "Why do you have such an idea? Do you think we are getting married too hastily? I still have a crush on you. I wanted to get close to you when I was a freshman. I guess you've heard about what happened later, so I don't want to talk about it anymore. I've really thought it through very clearly. You are the woman that I, Yi Chen, want to spend my life with." After hearing this, Liu Yina's eyes widened, and she was speechless for a moment. "Yi Chen, he is actually interested in me. Then we are in love with each other." Yi Chen looked at the excitement and anticipation in Liu Yina's eyes, immediately stepped forward, grabbed Liu Yina's right hand, and knelt down on one knee. Then he took out a ring box from his pocket, opened it, and said to Liu Yina, "Miss Liu Yina, I will definitely be responsible for you. Will you marry me?" Liu Yina stared blankly at Yi Chen, who was kneeling on the ground, covering her mouth tightly with an incredible look on her face. "Yes, I do," Liu Yina said with sobs. Yi Chen put on her the engagement ring he had secretly bought today, and hugged her tightly in his arms. "Silly, stop crying." At this moment, the system rang. "Beep, let the baby have a complete family. The system will reward 2 million in wedding funds." Ding, 2 million was transferred into Yi Chen's account. Yi Chen couldn't help but feel excited. No way I earned 2 million just by proposing. That would be enough for my life in the future. However, in addition to accompanying my wife and children, I still had to find a proper job and then ask what I needed to trigger special tasks. I would make money first. After all, I still needed money to support my family in the future. Yi Chen and Liu Yina hugged each other for a few minutes and then asked, "Are you hungry? Can I heat up the dumplings I just packed for you?" Liu Yina smiled and replied, "Okay." Yes, as everyone knows, pregnant women eat more. So Yi Chen had already packed a portion of dumplings in advance when he was having dinner, and now he was hungry. Seeing Yi Chen caring about her so much, Liu Yina really felt so happy. But I have to say that the house is well decorated with all the necessary appliances. My parents have already cleaned the master bedroom, so they can live here with peace of mind tonight. Tomorrow we will ask someone to clean it carefully and put things in order. Everything is ready. Yi Chen brought the dumplings and carefully instructed, "Be careful of the heat and buy some daily necessities tomorrow. I noticed that we haven't bought any kitchen utensils here yet." Beep, congratulations to the host for completing the small task of cooking for his wife and children. The system rewards the host with advanced cooking skills and 1 million cash. Yi Chen couldn't help but complain in his heart, "Advanced cooking technology. What the hell is this? Are you going to make me a house husband? I am a man, so I naturally have to focus on my career. But now that my wife is pregnant and it is inconvenient, I can still use it." Liu Yina smiled sweetly and said, "Thank you." Yi Chen touched her head and said, "Silly girl, why don't you say thank you to your husband?" Yi Chen looked at Liu Yina eating dumplings happily, and then took a serious look at the hall. He said with some emotion, "From now on, this will be our little home for our family of 5. Liu Yina was also eating while looking at this place. She handed a dumpling to Yi Chen and looked at him with joy. After they had a warm midnight snack, they went upstairs to take a shower and rest. After both of them finished their showers, Yi Chen felt a little embarrassed, so he hugged a quilt and pillow and said to Liu Yina, "How about I go next door?" Novel, the beauty deliberately let the boy sleep with her and successfully got married, but after marriage she refused to sleep with him. Liu Yina pulled Yi Chen back. "We are almost husband and wife. How can we sleep in separate rooms? We don't have to be so restrained. You can sleep here." Obviously, this was the first time for the two of them to sleep in the same bed so properly, so they were still a little green. Yi Chen also repeatedly assured, "Don't worry, I won't do anything to you. After all, it's not convenient for you now." Oh, Yi Chen also wanted to, facing such a beautiful woman. Wife, but Liu Yina is pregnant now, so he has to hold back, otherwise something bad might happen. The two of them lay stiffly on the bed, with Yi Chen looking at his phone with boredom, originally planning to play a game. At this point, Liu Yina suddenly cried out in surprise. "Ah!" Yi Chen immediately asked nervously, "What's wrong? What's wrong with you?" Liu Yina's face immediately showed waves of joy. "I just seem to feel the baby move a little bit. It's amazing." Hearing this, Yi Chen was also very excited. Liu Yina was carrying his child. She actually moved. Yi Chen immediately asked excitedly, Can I listen to it? Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen with a smile. Sure, lie down and listen to see what the baby is doing. Yi Chen immediately lay on Liu Yina's belly, listening quietly with his ears perked up. Baby, I'm your handsome daddy. However, I didn't hear the baby's fetal movement, but the system's voice rang in my head. Beep, congratulations to the host for having close contact with the baby for the first time. You have completed the small task of close contact. The system rewards you 100,000 yuan, and the upper limit is 3 times a day. Yi Chen was delighted again. Oh my God, I just spent more time with my child and I got a reward. I got another 100,000 yuan easily, and I can have 3 chances a day. I don't have to worry about the money for milk powder anymore. Liu Yina was also amused by Yi Chen's words. They are only 3 months old now. They probably won't understand, right? Yi Chen didn't think so. It's basically formed in 3 months, and naturally it has a brain, so it can definitely understand. Be good, don't move, let me talk to the baby. Liu Yina was also amused by his actions and burst into laughter. Looking at Yi Chen, who was lying on his side on his belly and talking to the baby, she was already immersed in happiness, and her face was full of happiness. The relationship between the two became closer because of the baby, and it also resolved the awkwardness of the first time they slept in the same bed. Of course, let's forget about that blackout incident. Both of them have begun to look forward to the happy life of a family of 5 in the future. The next morning, both sets of parents drove to pick them up. They each took their household registration books and ID cards, took wedding photos, and then went to the local civil affairs bureau together. With a hammer from the staff, the two had become legal husband and wife. The two of them held their marriage certificate and smiled at each other. Finally got the certificate. The group of 6 returned to the villa again with lots of bags, and the parents also invited the nanny to come to the villa to take care of their daily diet and daily life. At the same time, while they were shopping, they also hired people from a housekeeping company to do a thorough cleaning of the villa and put things in order. So when they returned to the villa, everything at home had been arranged. Liu Yina's parents looked at all the arrangements and expressed their satisfaction. As for the wedding, let's wait until the baby is born. A family sat on the sofa and talked about their children's problems. Nana, my family is very busy with work, so I can't stay here for long to take care of you. I have invited our aunt to come here. You can ask her to cook whatever you want. Aunt Zhang has been in our family for more than 10 years. You don't have to be polite to her, Mother Yi said to Liu Yina. Liu Yina replied sweetly, Okay, Auntie. You're still calling her Auntie. It's time to call her Mom, Yi's mother joked. Liu Yina covered her mouth and smiled. Okay, Mom, Dad. Father Yi smiled and nodded with satisfaction. Novel, a beautiful schoolgirl has a crush on a boy, designs to get pregnant with her own child, and successfully forces her mother to agree to the marriage. Seeing her daughter so happy, Liu's mother also laughed. Mom will come over to see you two occasionally in the future, but I won't be a third wheel for you too, said Yi's mother with a smile. By the way, Yi Chen, send me Nana's account number later. I will transfer her the money for changing her name. Nana, you must accept it. This is a courtesy and a must. Liu Yina glanced at her mother, who nodded. Liu Yina then responded, Thank you, Mom, and thank you, Dad. In the future wedding, we will have all the gold and silver items, don't worry, Yi's mother said generously. Liu's mother also agreed. As for the car, should we buy it now or wait until the child is about to get married? Yi Chen said, Mom, there is no rush for a dowry car. Let's buy it when the time comes. The most important thing right now is to take good care of Nana. Mother Liu and Father Liu nodded with satisfaction. Yes. Mother Yi said to Aunt Zhang, Aunt Zhang, Yi Chen's family will be handed over to you from now on. These two are children. You have to remind them if there is anything you need to pay attention to. I understand, Sister May. Just leave these 2 children to me, Aunt Zhang replied with a smile. Yi's mother's real name is Zhang Mei. She is a relative of Aunt Zhang's family, so they both have the surname Zhang. Yi's mother is a few months older than Aunt Zhang, so Aunt Zhang calls Yi's mother sister. Aunt Zhang also has a husband and a child. The child has just graduated and is working. He lives in the same city as her. Her husband stays at home to do farming. Now Aunt Zhang has benefited from the care of the Yi family over the past decade, and both her son and daughter have gone to college. Her daughter is now a sophomore in another city, so she cannot retire yet. After all, it is really hard to find a boss as good as the Yi family. Yi's mother was also very confident in leaving her son and daughter-in-law to her. After finishing her work at hand, she would definitely come here to take care of this small family. It's painful enough for most women to be pregnant with 1 baby, let alone triplets. Besides, his family's business has shrunk a lot after this crisis. So in many cases, Yi's father can handle it alone. So after the family had a peaceful dinner in the villa, they went home. On the way home, Yi's mother looked at Yi's father, who was driving, and asked, "How much money do we have at home now? During this period of time, we can save as much as we can. Although the in-laws said that the betrothal gift is just a formality, we can't really give 28,888, right? Besides, my in-laws also gave us a car as a dowry. In my opinion, we should take out all the reserve funds. We have spent all the money for Chenchen's marriage on company matters before. Now Nana is pregnant. We can't let our in-laws think that we are taking advantage of them. So the betrothal money must be increased. The reserve fund must also be taken out. Yes, we are going to be grandparents soon, and I am happy too. We can earn money after spending it, right? As long as everyone is happy." Father Yi was also very emotional. He was still in a daze when he first received Yi Chen's call, and the past 2 days were like a dream. Everything happened too fast. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he really wouldn't have believed it. The thought of having a grandson is such a great joy for a man of his age. Yi's mother was relieved. After all, she would not use the reserve fund unless it was absolutely necessary. Although she had several 100,000 yuan on hand, she felt that her money would be quickly spent when facing Nana's triplets. After all, it's hard to make money now. Fortunately, her son was smart. He used his pocket money well and knew how to invest it. He prepared the wedding house himself, which saved her a lot of worries. Novel, the guy got the school beauty pregnant, married her, and took her home. The next day, he was asked if they had sex. "If my son hasn't bought a wedding house yet, even if I take out the reserve fund, I still can't afford this 200-square-meter villa." Then she took out her cell phone, opened WeChat, found her daughter-in-law Nana, and immediately transferred her 200,000 yuan as a fee for changing her statement, and left a message asking her to take a good rest and other caring words. Liu Yina also received the message and immediately replied, "Got it, thank you, Mom." At this time, Yi Chen was being taken by Aunt Zhang to the restaurant on the first floor for a talk. Aunt Zhang asked, "Chen, are you sleeping together now?" Yi Chen was a little confused. "Yeah, sleeping together, what's wrong, Aunt Zhang?" Aunt Zhang whispered, "Nana is only 3 months pregnant now. Even if she is a little bit pregnant, it's impossible for her to do that. After all, she is pregnant with triplets. You should take it easy. As a man, you should be patient. A few months will pass quickly." Aunt Zhang had come to the Yi family when Yi Chen was 5 years old. Yi's father and mother were busy with business at the time, and only Aunt Zhang was with Yi Chen. It can be said that Aunt Zhang was half his mother and had a close relationship with him, so they talked about everything, and there was never any distinction between employer and employee. Yi Chen finally realized what Aunt Zhang was talking about and immediately said with a smile, "Aunt Zhang, I am a man. She is pregnant now, so I will not do anything reckless. Don't think of me as such a beast." Aunt Zhang also smiled. "All right, just know it yourself. After all, you are a college student, so you should understand this principle. I won't say more. I'll go tidy up the utility room. I bought a lot of things today. By the way, ask Nana what she wants for supper tonight, and I'll make it for her." Yi Chen immediately replied, "Aunt Zhang, if you are tired, go to bed first. You have been cleaning all day, and you are tired too. If you want to cook, I can do it. Haha, there are rewards for cooking midnight snacks. How can I waste such a good opportunity?" Aunt Zhang also yawned. "Okay, you guys can do it yourself." After Yi Chen talked with Aunt Zhang, he went up to the bedroom on the second floor, intending to cultivate a good relationship with his children. When Yi Chen opened the door, he saw Liu Yina lying on the bed playing with her phone, so he asked, "Wife, what are you doing?" Yi Chen said that the word wife came to his mind quite easily these days, but every time Liu Yina heard him call her that, she felt so sweet in her heart. Liu Yina smiled sweetly. "I'm helping my parents book high-speed rail tickets for tomorrow. They have to go back tomorrow." Yi Chen, "Oh, then let's go and see our parents off tomorrow." Liu Yina, "Well, let's buy some local specialties for them to take back. By the way, my mother just transferred me 200,000 yuan as a fee for changing my name. Isn't that too much? Should I accept it?" Yi Chen smiled and said, "If she gives it to you, just keep it. Why not?" Liu Yina was a little embarrassed. "I think it might be a bit too much. Auntie just asked me for my bank account number, saying that it would be safer to use a bank account for large amounts in the future." Yi Chen, "Then just give it to her. My parents said that they will never treat you or the baby in your belly unfairly. Don't worry about these. Don't think about anything now. Just focus on taking care of the baby. Let me hear if the baby is well behaved today." Although this was Yi Chen's second time lying on Liu Yina's belly, His movements were so skillful. He found the position very accurately and lay on Liu Yin's belly. "Babies, I'm handsome daddy. When will you come out?" Yi Chen said lovingly. Liu Yin also looked at the man she loved with a doting look on her face. He was lying on her belly and chatting with the baby in her belly. Every time at this moment, she felt that she was the happiest woman in the world. Bite. When the cell phone message ringtone rang, Yi Chen knew that another 100,000 yuan of system reward had arrived in his account. Novel, the young man became a father before he graduated and was bound to the father system, so he could get money for free if he had a child. No, he can only have 3 chances a day, so he has to cherish them. After all, he is unemployed now. If the system rewards him 300,000 a day, then he will make almost 9 million a month. Wouldn't that mean that you can make more money than working as a regular employee, or even running your own company? He is now thinking in his mind whether he should really start a company so that he can spend his money with a clear conscience. If you rely solely on an invisible company or stocks, the day will come when it will be exposed. However, now these things should be dealt with after the baby is born. The most important thing now is to take good care of my wife and children. Anyway, I have money now, and I can still support a family even if I don't work. If he wants to take good care of his wife and children, he must learn how to be a good father now. Beep, the system detects that the host is determined to be a good father and rewards 1 million cash. Oh my God, there is a reward for this. System, oh system, in your eyes, money is just a bunch of numbers. Yes, master. Forehead. This system actually answers me. Interesting. Yi Chen lay quietly on Liu Yin's belly and talked to the baby. Suddenly, the baby in the belly moved. There was a very obvious rolling movement in the area near Yi Chen's face. Liu Yin also clearly felt it at this time. One of the babies in her belly seemed to turn over or something. Anyway, it just moved a little. The two looked at each other in surprise. The baby is moving. Yeah, I felt it too. I have to say, it's really amazing. It seems I need to buy a fetal heart monitor. I want to hear the baby's heartbeat. It must be very loud. Yi Chen sighed and said with surprise. It was the first time for him to be so close to the baby. At this moment, the system is ringing. Host, get close to the baby, perform well, and the host will be rewarded 100,000 yuan. No, after sending Liu Yin's parents to the high-speed rail station tomorrow, I must go to the mall to buy some baby bottles, baby strollers, diapers, and other things. It's also a good idea to wash them first and keep them in stock. Yi Chen said to Liu Yin, "Wife, when will my parents' car leave tomorrow?" Liu Yin looked at her phone and said, "I just bought them a car for 10:20 tomorrow. They don't have to get up too early. They can have breakfast first and then take the car." Yi Chen planned in his mind that he would first send his father-in-law and mother-in-law back by high-speed rail, and then go to the mall to buy baby products and the like. When he went to the mall today, he was only concerned with buying some small household items, quilts, supplements, and the like, but he didn't have time to buy baby products. After Yi Chen thought about it in his mind, he said to Liu Yin, "Well, let's go shopping for baby products together tomorrow to see what we need to buy. After buying things, we can go to eat together. You can come back in the afternoon to take a nap and rest. If you're tired, I can go by myself." How could Liu Yin miss the time with Yi Chen? Naturally, she was willing to go with him. "I'm fine, my belly isn't big yet and I haven't had any reaction yet. Let's go together." Yi Chen touched his belly and said, "Then let's go together as a family of 5. After saying that, Yi Chen smiled at Liu Yin. Liu Yin looked at Yi Chen's smile and instantly felt that she had fallen in love. She liked to see Yi Chen smile, a smile that was so sunny and charming. Liu Yin stared at Yi Chen blankly, her eyes full of love. Yi Chen also noticed Liu Yin's days and smiled even more brightly. "Little cutie, do you know you are playing with fire?" Then he pressed Liu Yin directly on the bed, but did not press on her stomach. The two of them were looking at each other ambiguously, with the man on top and the woman on the bottom. When Liu Yin reacted, she wanted to break free from his restraints awkwardly. Yi Chen buried his head in Liu Yin's ear and said in Liu Yin's ear like a subwoofer, "Silly, what do you think I want to do?" After saying that, he chuckled a few more times. Novel, the school beauty successfully married the boy. Just as they were about to have sex, the boy suddenly pushed her away. But Liu Yin suddenly stopped struggling. Suddenly, she put her arms around Yi Chen's neck and gently kissed him on the cheek. Yi Chen froze and took a deep breath. "Woman, you have to be ready to put out the fire." Yi Chen lowered his head and kissed her domineeringly. Liu Yin felt like her head was exploding. Just as Yi Chen's hand was wandering on Liu Yin's body, the system voice suddenly rang. and at the same time, it also brought Yi Chen back to his senses. Congratulations to the host for triggering the special reward. The prize is 5 million in cash. Yi Chen's hand movement stopped abruptly. He suddenly distanced himself from Liu Yina and jumped up from the bed. Can't. Yi Chen was finally brought back to his senses by the system's voice. He kept taking deep breaths to calm the anger in his body. Liu Yina was a little shy. Maybe it was because of the kiss just now, but her whole face turned red. Yi Chen opened the bedroom door while panting and said to Liu Yina on the bed, "I'm sleeping in the next room tonight. If you have any problems, remember to call me. I need to." Calm down. Liu Yina blushed and smiled as she watched Yi Chen fleeing. She knew that Yi Chen would never do that. Liu Yina gently placed her hands on her face and her lips, bit her lips, and savored the passionate kiss they had just had. I sat on the bed alone, covering my mouth and smiling foolishly, recalling. As soon as Yi Chen closed the door, he found Aunt Zhang hiding outside the door and eavesdropping. With a look of shock on his face, he immediately pulled Aunt Zhang aside and whispered to her, "Aunt Zhang, what are you doing here?" Aunt Zhang raised her hand and hit Yi Chen on the head and scolded. "You almost caught fire. Didn't I tell you to take it easy? It's only been a few months, how can you not bear it?" Yi Chen also felt a little aggrieved. "I didn't do anything, it was just a kiss." Aunt Zhang was helpless. "It's not okay to kiss. What if something goes wrong? We must not let anything go wrong. It's a good thing your mom sent me here to supervise you. Otherwise, something almost happened." Yi Chen was also a little embarrassed. Yes, Aunt Zhang, I understand. I won't do it again in the future, just hold my hand." Aunt Zhang was also full of disbelief, but there was nothing she could do. These two youngsters are ignorant, so as someone who has been through this, I have to pay attention to them. Aunt Zhang whispered, "Go to bed." Yi Chen said, "Oh," and opened the door of the guest room. He just lay down on the big bed in a big letter shape. The system just said that I triggered a special task. What is this special task? Is it a kiss or something else? At this time, the system rang again. "Hello, host. The system's special tasks are random. Please seize the opportunity." Yi Chen was also a little speechless. Isn't this nonsense? Isn't it that the system can send it whenever it wants? This is too unreliable. It's just that I just kissed Liu Yina, and I actually got a reward of 5 million. It's incredible. Will I get a reward just by kissing my wife from now on? If I do something else, will there be more rewards? Hey. Yi Chen was grinning evilly, as if he was planning something. The next day, around 8:30, everyone had already gotten up. Yi Chen and Liu Yina had breakfast with their parents and then sent them to the high-speed train. At this time, Yi Chen felt more and more that he had to buy a car to get around. He had nearly 10 million in cash in his hands, so he could buy any car he wanted. It's very inconvenient to go out without a car now, and it's also not convenient for Aunt Zhang to buy groceries. She has to buy an extra shopping cart. Nowadays, they rely entirely on taxis to get around. After sending their parents to take the high-speed rail, they took a taxi to go to the mall to buy baby products. Novel, the school beauty, got pregnant before graduation, and her parents not only agreed to marry her, but also gave her a sum of money. On the train, Father Liu sighed heavily. Liu's mother glanced at him and asked, "Why are you sighing? Isn't your daughter living a good life now?" Father Liu said in a deep voice, "I have raised my daughter for more than 20 years, and now she is getting married just like that." "Mother Liu, Nana is pregnant now. It won't look good in a wedding dress with a big belly. After the baby is born, we can hold the wedding ceremony. Haven't we discussed this with the in-laws?" Father Liu rolled his eyes at Mother Liu and said, "You didn't understand what I meant." Liu's mother was stunned by his words. She knew what he meant. This was her only child. She couldn't bear to let him go. But as a woman, she still had to find a good in-law family to give birth to children. Now she had found a good in-law family, and the son-in-law was not bad either. Her daughter would be valued if she married him. Isn't this good? But as I thought about it, I felt like something was missing in my heart, and I felt empty. Your daughter is getting married, you should be happy. Why are you sighing here? Liu's mother also wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. I will retire in a few years, and your company will be closed. We will come and live with our daughter. But now we just want to earn more money and buy a small apartment near our daughter's home. Then we can see her every day. We can settle down here and help her take care of the children. It's a good idea when we think about it. Mother Liu smiled as she spoke. Father Liu said, "How can a company be closed just like that? I'm not like you. You can retire a few years early, but I can't close my company. Those employees have been with me for many years, and they all rely on me to support their families." If Liu's father was asked to close the company, he would be unwilling to do so. After thinking for a while, he suddenly said, "How about handing the company over to the son-in-law? Anyway, he doesn't have a job now. We are all old employees and we just come back to visit from time to time. If he does well and wants to expand, our company is quite close to here, and it only takes about 40 minutes by train. It won't affect it." Mother Liu also nodded. "Well, this is also possible. How much money do we have in our bank account now? I have hundreds of thousands here. How about you? I have saved a few million yuan in a regular deposit. I originally planned to buy a house as a dowry for Nana when she got married. Now that Yi Chen is so capable and has a house, we will give her a car worth more than 2 million yuan as a dowry, as well as some other jewelry and so on. We have almost spent all of it." Mother Liu also nodded. "Well, as long as the child lives well, it's fine. Fortunately, my in-laws and Yi Chen are also reasonable. Nana won't be bullied if she marries into their family." The two of them snuggled up to each other, looking out of the train and chatting about their children. This way, Yi Chen and Liu Yina took a taxi to the largest shopping mall in Xiangcheng, Damingfa. The two of them went directly to the area selling maternal and infant products, where the salesperson introduced the products to them enthusiastically. "Hello, sir and madam." The female salesperson looked the two of them up and down and noticed that Liu Yina's belly was slightly bulging. Moreover, seeing the two of them walking towards us holding hands and talking, I was quite sure that they were a newlywed couple buying daily necessities for their future baby. "Do you want to buy bottles or something for your baby in advance?" the saleswoman asked with a smile. "Yi Chen, yes, the babies in our belly are triplets, so we have to buy daily necessities in advance. Otherwise, we will be confused when the time comes." When the saleswoman heard Yi Chen's words, she couldn't help but be shocked. "3 triplets? Oh my God, so amazing, congratulations." "Thank you," Yi Chen and Liu Yina said with a smile. Under the guidance of the female salesperson, Yi Chen and Liu Yina had already bought bottles, pacifiers, baby diapers, adult diapers, nursing pads, etc. And of course, some baby clothes, small toys, etc. When it came time to check out, Yi Chen picked up all the shopping bags, and Liu Yina was unable to help. "Hello, the total is 2,330 yuan. Would you like to pay by card or cash?" "Swipe the card," Yi Chen said and took out his bank card. Beep, beep, beep. The card swiping was successful. Novel, the young man's family went bankrupt, and he became a father before he graduated, but he was rewarded for spending money on his child. At this time, the system rang. This is the first time the host has actually spent money on the baby. I reward the host with 100,000 yuan. Yi Chen's cell phone rang again. Yi Chen was also a little confused. There was actually a reward for this. Never mind, the money has to be spent anyway, and the reward is already in hand. I'll buy more things for the children in the future, and maybe I'll get more rewards. Just as the two of them were about to leave, the saleswoman came out with a bag containing a book. "Sir, I can tell from the looks of it that you are a man who loves his wife and children. We have a rule in our store that if a husband accompanies his wife, we will give the couple a scientific parenting book." She handed the bag to Yi Chen, took out a business card, and said sincerely, "Sir or madam, this is my business card. If you need to buy milk powder, diapers, or something in the future, you can call me. If it is within 5 kilometers in the same city, I can deliver it to your door within 30 minutes. Thank you for your support." As she said that, the female salesperson handed over her card with both hands. To be honest, a family that can afford to give birth to triplets must also be able to support them. That's not just an ordinary family. That's a big family. Yi Chen looked at the business card handed over by the saleswoman, motioned Liu Yina to take it, and said to the saleswoman, "Thank you, you are so thoughtful. If we need anything in the future, we will definitely call you." "Okay, sir, please take care." The female salesperson watched the two men leave, feeling extremely envious. This woman is so lucky. Her husband is so handsome and, most importantly, so loving. He even accompanies her when she goes shopping, even when she is pregnant. If her family didn't have a mind, she probably wouldn't be able to do this. It is now exactly 12 o'clock, and Aunt Zhang calls. Liu Yina answered the phone. "Hello, Aunt Zhang. Nana, are you going home for lunch today?" Liu Yina turned around and said to Yi Chen, "Aunt Zhang asked us if we would go back for dinner." Yi Chen asked in a low voice, "Do you want to go back and eat?" Liu Yina covered her mouth, laughed secretly, and shook her head. Yi Chen also laughed. "Then we won't go back to eat, you can talk to Auntie." Aunt Zhang also laughed on the other end of the phone. Okay, I get it. You guys can eat outside, but don't eat those unhealthy things." "I understand, Aunt Zhang. Goodbye, Aunt Zhang." After hanging up the phone with Aunt Zhang, Liu Yina asked, "Where are we going to eat now? This seems to be." our first official date and dinner together. Yi Chen nodded and said, "Yes, we have to go to a higher-end restaurant for a meal. What do you want to eat?" Liu Yina, "I'm fine with anything. I'm not picky about food." Yi Chen was also helpless. "Is this how women are? How about we go to a Michelin restaurant? The food there is delicious." Liu Yina, "Michelin restaurant. It's very expensive, don't you want it?" "You see, this is a woman." Yi Chen, "Go, go, go. You have to go even if it's expensive. After all, it's our first date. How can we just find a random place?" Yi Chen hurriedly coaxed Liu Yina, and Liu Yina also smiled sweetly. Yes, for the first date, they must find a good place to eat, and this also indirectly shows that Yi Chen values her, which is great. Yi Chen carried a bunch of shopping bags in one hand and held Liu Yina's hand with the other. The two smiled at each other, walked out of the mall and headed towards the Michelin restaurant opposite. I walked into this 3-star Michelin restaurant, went up to the second floor, and naturally found a seat by the window and sat down. The waiter was very attentive. He poured water for the two of them, brought the menu, and then left. Yi Chen sat side by side with Liu Yina and moved closer to her. "Nana, do you want me to call you Nana or my wife?" Liu Yina looked at him and blinked again. "You can call me whatever you like, then can I call you husband?" Novel, a beautiful schoolgirl marries a poor rich boy and wants him to publicize the marriage, but he is unwilling to do so. After all, they were newlyweds, and calling him by his full name, Yi Chen, seemed to create too much of a distance. Yi Chen smiled and said, "I like to call you wife, and I also like to call you Nana." Liu Yina patted Yi Chen's shoulder. "I'm just kidding. Then just call me wife, husband." After what happened last night, the relationship between the two seemed to have taken a step forward. Liu Yina also clearly felt that Yi Chen was not as stiff towards her and the baby as before, and his emotions were expressed more naturally. After ordering the meal, Liu Yina leaned on Yi Chen's shoulder and looked at her phone. "Husband, have you told your classmates about our marriage?" Yi Chen was stunned. "I mentioned this to my roommates before. When they heard me say that I wanted to marry you, I guess they thought I was bragging. After all, my wife is the campus belle. They definitely didn't expect that the campus belle was actually trapped by me." Liu Yina smiled on Yi Chen's shoulder. "So what if she's a school belle? She's also a human being. What's more, you're such an outstanding person and so handsome. Of course I like you. Do you like me?" Yi Chen held Liu Yina's hand. "I like you too. How could I not like you? Besides, we even have a child, don't think too much." "Liu Yina, is it because of the child?" Yi Chen immediately turned around and looked at Liu Yina face to face. "I don't allow you to think like that. I definitely don't want to marry you just because you have a child. If it's because of responsibility, then at most I will pay child support, but I won't marry you. We all need time to get to know each other better now, so don't be suspicious." Liu Yina was feeling a little depressed. "Me too. I'm not confident enough in myself. I feel like everything is happening too fast now. I'm afraid it will be gone if I'm not careful. I'm really afraid of losing you." Yi Chen hugged her tightly in his arms. "Silly girl, how can you think like this? You have to know that your husband loves you, that's enough." Yi Chen said in a firm tone. Perhaps before, 80% of the reason he married Liu Yina was because of the child, and the remaining 20% was because he liked her in his heart. But now the two have been together for a few days, and Yi Chen has also felt Liu Yina's goodness and her love for him. Yi Chen also tried to respond to Liu Yina's love, and was surprised to find that everything he did seemed so natural and so reasonable. Now that they are honest with each other and express their deep love for each other, their relationship is heating up rapidly. At this moment, the system rang again. "Beep, the host has triggered a special mission. The system rewards 1 million yuan. At this moment, Yi Chen was a little crazy. What was wrong with this system? This was rewarded and that was rewarded. What was the pattern? I had to go home and study it carefully to see how to plunder the system's money. The two hugged each other tightly for almost 10 minutes and still couldn't bear to separate. It was not until the waiter served them their food that the two reluctantly let go. "Wife, I heard that the food here is delicious. Eat as much as you want. Your husband will pay the bill." Yi Chen smiled dotingly at Liu Yina. Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen with a smile, her face flushed. "Well, I understand." Liu Yina brought a piece of fruit salad to Yi Chen's mouth. "Ah, you eat one, this is delicious." Yi Chen opened his mouth and ate it in one bite. Yi Chen asked, "What do you think of my parents?" While eating, Liu Yina replied, "I think my parents are pretty good. What do your parents think of me?" "Yi Chen, my parents are quite satisfied with you and told me to live a good life with you, haha." "What about your parents? What do they think of me?" "Liu Yina, they are also very satisfied with you. I am really happy now, from being scared at the beginning to now." I feel that I am the happiest woman in the world. I have a husband who loves me, in-laws who love me, and a baby who is about to be born. I am so happy. Yi Chen hugged Liu Yina's shoulders again. Me too, and my wife is still so beautiful. She is really a winner in life. Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen tenderly. Of course, you are also very handsome. Yi Chen couldn't stand looking at Liu Yina's tender eyes. Eat, eat, your eyes are making me lose control again. Liu Yina smiled sweetly, and the two became even closer. Novel, a young man got married and became a father right after graduation. He bought a scooter, but the salesperson gave him a parenting manual instead. After lunch, the two took a taxi home. Yi Chen now feels that he really needs to buy a car for transportation. He will go with his wife to look at new cars tomorrow. How much will it cost to buy a car for himself, a car for his wife, and a car for Aunt Zhang to buy groceries? However, he still has more than 10 million in his account, which should be enough. After returning home, Liu Yina went back to her room to take a nap. She didn't know why, but she always felt that she didn't get enough sleep recently. It should be because of her pregnancy. She became lazy and didn't like to move. She always wanted to lie down when she could, not move when she could, and sleep when she could. Yi Chen handed all the things he bought to Aunt Zhang. When he saw the scientific parenting book that the clerk gave him before he left, he took it out and studied it out of curiosity. This female clerk is really good at handling things. She knows what new parents are missing. Yi Chen was also very excited and picked up the book and walked into the study to study. After all, he is the father of triplets. When the kids come out, he can't be in a hurry and not know anything. Before this, he had never been exposed to any knowledge in this area, such as knowledge about pregnant women, what to do after the baby is born, what to do in the hospital, etc. In short, he knew nothing about it. So he sat at his desk and began to read seriously. At this moment, the system rang. Beep, the host has triggered a special mission, and the system rewards the skill of photographic memory. Yi Chen took a deep breath. Is this okay? Does this system really need to be studied? Anything you do related to your wife and children may trigger a special task, and the rewards are quite good. Just like when I decided to marry Liu Yina. The moment the baby was born, buying midnight snacks for my wife, proposing to my wife, cooking dumplings for my wife, hearing the baby's movements for the first time, spending money on the baby for the first time, and so on. How do you use this photographic memory? System, report to the host, just click on the skill to activate it, and you will be able to remember everything from now on. Is this possible? Yi Chen immediately said. Then let's start the photographic memory function now. System, okay. Beep, startup successful. Yi Chen took a deep breath, and when he picked up the book again, he seemed to be reading it more attentively than before. Even after reading more than 10 pages, he could still remember what was written before. OMG, this skill is really great. Parenting knowledge, starting from the moment a pregnant woman becomes pregnant until the child is 7 years old. This book was as thick as 4 or 5 mobile phones stacked together, but Yi Chen only took 10 minutes to finish reading it. No matter which page you asked him about, he could clearly remember what was said. OMG, why didn't the system appear earlier? If I had this function a few years earlier, I might have been able to get into a world-class university. Yi Chen suppressed the thoughts in his mind. It was useless to say more. The most important thing was now. It says here that you have to prepare milk powder, bottles, diapers, etc. as soon as the baby is born, because the baby must be fed some sugar water or milk powder after birth to prevent hypoglycemia or something. It also teaches you how to tell if your baby's stool is indigestion, what constitutes a good stool, how to burp your baby, etc. It's very detailed. Another very important point here is that when pregnant women, the hormones in their bodies change too much, making them prone to losing their temper. When Yi Chen saw this, he was still thinking in his heart, why didn't he think Nana would behave like this? In the future, you should pay more attention to your wife's mood changes. If she is in a bad mood, it is very likely that the baby will be unhappy. If the baby is unhappy, his development will definitely be affected. There is also the issue of morning sickness during pregnancy. If the pregnant woman is retching and has a poor appetite, she can try drinking some carbonated drinks such as Coke and Sprite to relieve stomach discomfort. But if she is vomiting acid, she can drink some soda water and eat some soda crackers or something like that. Novel, she is a beautiful schoolgirl with countless suitors, but she has a crush on an ordinary guy and is pregnant with his baby. Yi Chen couldn't help but nod his head. Nana didn't seem to have any special reaction. This was good too. She didn't have to suffer like those women on TV who vomited to death. Pregnant women should also pay attention to their diet. Eating too much junk food is not good for the baby. Also, they need to do some proper exercise. Well, how about signing up for prenatal yoga or something, or swimming or something like that? I don't know if Nana likes it or not. If she likes it, just sign up. If not, forget it. Yi Chen stayed in the study room for the entire afternoon, until Liu Yina woke up from her nap. At this time, Liu Yina passed by the study and saw Yi Chen there, poking at his mobile phone and reading a book, as if he was studying something. There was also a notebook on the desk, on which he wrote something from time to time. Liu Yina walked in and hugged Yi Chen from behind. "Husband, what are you busy with?" Seeing that it was his wife, Yi Chen picked up the notebook and said excitedly, "Wife, I'm studying the knowledge related to pregnant women and babies. The book given by the clerk is really useful. I wrote down some important things, so it will be convenient to take it out and read it later. You can also read it, and you don't have to read such a thick book." Liu Yina took the book and looked at the things that pregnant women and babies should pay attention to written on it with various colored pens. Her eyes turned red. From the moment she met Yi Chen, Liu Yina was attracted by his sunny personality and handsome appearance. When she was in school, she often heard girls around her talking about him, saying that he was handsome and was the male god of many girls. So from then on, she would pay attention to Yi Chen from time to time, and slowly fell in love with him. And when she and Yi Chen had that night, she was still very ecstatic in her heart. She gave her most important thing to the person she loved most, and everything was worth it. She didn't think about what would happen in the future, she just enjoyed the happiness of the moment. However, when she found out that she was pregnant, she was ready to take on all of it herself, but she also wanted to give it a try to fight for the baby in her belly. "I didn't expect it. I really didn't love the wrong person. Yi Chen is a responsible man, a man with a sense of responsibility. When they got married, she just thought that as long as he loved the child, nothing else mattered to her. Aren't there many marriages that at the end are left with only a piece of paper and a child? I just advanced the time." When she was first in school, she heard others discussing that Yi Chen's family seemed to have gone bankrupt and lost everything at home, so she was ready to ask her parents for money. After a few days of contact, she found out that Yi Chen's family was not bankrupt, but their assets had shrunk. Moreover, Yi Chen has made so much money from his investments, so she doesn't have to worry about whether Yi Chen can support the child alone. As they spent time together day and night, they confessed their feelings to each other. It turned out that Yi Chen also had a good impression of her, and because of the child, he seemed to have a different feeling for her, so it should be love. Looking at this notebook full of love, Liu Yina's heart was also melted. She hugged Yi Chen, turned her head and kissed him on the face. "Thank you, husband. You have worked hard." "Silly girl, your husband doesn't have much hardship in taking good care of you and the kids. By the way, what do you want to eat for afternoon tea?" "Your husband will cook it for you," Yi Chen asked with a smile. "Can you cook?" Liu Yina asked with a smile. "You may not have eaten what your husband made for you. It's at the level of an international culinary master," Yi Chen said with some pride. "Your husband has advanced cooking skills given by the system. Even if the dishes I cook are not as good as those in Michelin 3-star restaurants, they are still much better than those made by chefs in 5-star hotels." "Well, your wife will be rude to you. It's already so late now. I want to eat the feast you made tonight. Forget afternoon tea. I'll just have some fruit." "Okay, I'll make you an apple salad. You can eat it slowly and watch TV for a while. It will be ready soon." Yi Chen stood up, took Liu Yina's hand, and walked downstairs. Novel, the guy got the school beauty pregnant before he graduated, and was forced to bind to the father system to take care of the school beauty. After making a salad for Liu Yina, he pushed her down on the sofa to watch TV, while Yi Chen and Aunt Zhang got busy. After Liu Yina finished her salad, she fell asleep on the sofa while watching TV. And when Yi Chen woke her up, the food he had prepared was already placed on the dining table. From a distance, she knew it must be delicious just by smelling it. Looking at the 3 dishes and a pot of traditional hot soup on the table, pigeon soup, chestnut stewed chicken, tomato scrambled eggs, and salted cabbage heart, the soup smelled like a clear soup. Yi Chen also put a lot of effort into this dinner. Pregnant women need to supplement a lot of nutrition during pregnancy, but they can't eat too much meat and fish. Pregnant women's dinner should be light and nutritious. So he went to the pharmacy, specifically to buy some tonic Chinese medicinal herbs to make this pigeon soup. It makes me salivate just by smelling it. First of all, when he pulled Liu Yina to the dining table, he had already served her a bowl of soup, which had been left out for a while, so he woke her up to drink the soup. When Liu Yina saw the dining table, her eyes were full of disbelief. "Did you really make this?" Oh my God, it looks much better than what I made. You must have put a lot of thought into this chestnut braised chicken. Also, the soup smells really fresh. It must be delicious. Liu Yina was drooling just by looking at it. So without saying a word, she sat down immediately and drank the whole soup. It's really delicious. I've never tasted such a delicious soup. It's so fresh and sweet. Aunt Zhang, come over and drink with us. Liu Yina praised and asked Aunt Zhang to come over and try the dish made by her husband. She quickly pulled Yi Chen to sit down and started eating. Although they are all home-cooked dishes, dishes that cannot be more ordinary, but when they are made by Yi Chen, they are different. Aunt Zhang quickly said, "Hey, Nana, eat slowly." Aunt Zhang also sat down and started drinking the soup. After taking a bite, her eyes lit up. To be honest, she was also very surprised. She had been with Yi Chen for so many years, but she rarely saw him enter the kitchen. She also thought that Yi Chen could not cook. But now this bowl of soup surprised her. So she immediately picked up her chopsticks and tried other dishes. To be honest, they were really good, not bad. It seems that this boy has really grown up and knows how to love his wife, seeing that the child she raised was now married with children and was willing to be a house husband for his wife. She was happy for Yi Chen to have such a harmonious life. I believe Yi Chen will also be a good husband and a good father. Yi Chen was also sitting nearby, picking up food for Liu Yina and asking, "Is it delicious? I told you that the food I cook is better than that of a five-star chef." Liu Yina had already finished a bowl of rice and her hands slowed down. "Did you really make this? If you didn't say it was made by you, I would have thought it was made by a Michelin three-star chef. It's so delicious." Yi Chen smiled. "Of course, as long as you like it, I can make it for you every day." "This is not good. If I eat this much every day, I will soon turn into a pig," Liu Yina pouted. "It doesn't matter, my husband won't dislike you." But Liu Yina refused to do it. "How can I do this? I will feel ashamed of myself. It is not easy to lose weight if I am fat." Yi Chen smiled. It turned out that girls really care about their weight. Beep, the host cooked for his wife and children and received positive reviews. The host will be rewarded 100,000 yuan. I'm also being rewarded for doing this. In the future, if I treat my wife and children well, I can get this kind of reward as much as I want. Yi Chen shook his head and smiled. "Then I will cook for you occasionally in the future, is that okay?" Liu Yina smiled. "Great, my husband is so nice. My husband, I really have to say that your cooking skills are really good enough to be a chef god." Yi Chen looked at this cute little foodie and smiled even more brightly. Novel, the guy just graduated from college, married the campus beauty and had a baby, and quickly bought equipment to listen to the fetal heart rate. After eating and drinking, they both sat on the sofa and watched boring TV. "Honey, tomorrow morning, do you want to go with me to look at cars? I want to buy a mobility scooter so that it will be more convenient to get around. By the way, do you have a driver's license?" Liu Yina, "I did take the test, but I just got my driver's license not long ago. I'm still in the probation period and haven't had a chance to drive on the road yet." Yi Chen smiled and said, "My husband will drive it in the future. Will you go with me tomorrow morning? Do you want to sleep in or something?" Liu Yina must be reluctant to be separated from Yi Chen. Their relationship is gradually developing in a good direction. She really wants to be with Yi Chen 24 hours a day. "Go ahead tomorrow morning, remember to wake me up. I'm afraid I won't be able to get up. I've been sleeping really well lately and I love sleeping more and more. I feel like a pig after eating and sleeping again." "Don't be afraid, even if you turn into a pig, your husband can afford to raise you." Yi Chen smiled dotingly and hugged Liu Yina in his arms. The two of them stayed on the sofa for a long time. At 9 o'clock in the evening, Liu Yina felt sleepy again and yawned repeatedly. "No, I want to sleep, I'm too sleepy." "Yi Chen, don't go to sleep yet. I haven't had time to listen to the baby's voice today. The fetal heart monitor I bought yesterday can be used today." Yi Chen was also very excited. He also liked to interact with the baby, and now he bought a fetal heart monitor so that he could hear the baby's fetal heart rate clearly. Speaking of fetal heart rate monitoring, do we need to go for a prenatal checkup? I saw a post online saying that we need to go to the maternal and child health care center to create a file or something. Now that we're married, it will be easier to get a birth permit right. Yi Chen suddenly remembered some posts he searched and read today, so he asked, "Oh, that's right. If you hadn't reminded me, I would have actually forgotten to go for the prenatal checkup. Oh, my memory is really getting worse and worse." Liu Yina suddenly woke up as if from a dream, and she had also forgotten about this matter. "Well, how about going for a prenatal checkup tomorrow morning?" Yi Chen asked. "So you're not going to buy a car? Buying a car can be postponed, but the matter of the child cannot be delayed." Yi Chen decided immediately to go for the prenatal checkup first and then buy a car. Then I have to make an appointment first, otherwise, I will have to wait in line for a long time when the time comes. Liu Yina immediately took out her mobile phone and made an appointment for a prenatal checkup online. Fortunately, she had already created a card when she went for a pregnancy checkup. Now, she just needs to bind the hospital's medical card to make an appointment. After the appointment was made, Liu Yina said to Yi Chen, "I have made an appointment. Because the appointment time is too late, I can only make an appointment after 10:30. It shouldn't be too late, right? No, we can just take a taxi there in advance. Let's go back to the room and listen to what the baby is doing. Let's talk about buying a car later." Yi Chen hurriedly went to find the fetal heart monitor he bought today. Liu Yina felt that her belly had grown particularly fast in the past 2 days, as if it had grown half its size overnight. After all, there were 3 little babies inside. She had also been sleeping and eating a lot recently, so that might be related. She took a pillow, half lying down, and shyly lifted up her clothes to expose her belly. Yi Chen was unpacking the package and figuring out how to use it. Liu Yina took a look at the instrument and realized that the principle was the same as that of B ultrasound, so she gave Yi Chen some instructions. "Honey, squeeze a little bit of the white coupling agent out of the probe and then put it here and see," Liu Yina said, pointing at her belly. Yi Chen understood immediately and followed Liu Yina's instructions and quickly finished it. "Little babies, your handsome dad is here." Yi Chen took the probe and turned on the monitor. When the probe was placed on Liu Yina's belly, a noisy sound immediately came from the monitor. Liu Yina only felt her belly go cold, and all the pores on her body stood up. "Huh, are the little babies playing hide and seek with their daddy? Where are they? Let daddy listen." Yi Chen spoke softly to the babies while holding the probe as if they were really playing hide and seek. Novel, the beauty used a trick to get pregnant with the boy's child, and then she married him, fearing that he would hate the child. Liu Yina felt a warm feeling in her heart when she looked at Yi Chen, who loved children so much. The child will definitely be very happy to have such a father. Suddenly, just as Yi Chen's probe was hovering over Liu Yina's belly, a series of loud, thump, thump sounds were heard amid the already noisy sound on the monitor. Yi Chen was also startled by the heartbeat sound, and his hands trembled. At the same time, the system voice sounded. "Beep, the host hears the baby's heartbeat for the first time. The system rewards 1 million yuan. But Yi Chen couldn't care less. Now that he could really hear his child's heartbeat, any reward was nothing. "Baby, daddy found you. Are you the eldest, second, or youngest treasure?" Yi Chen's fatherly smile was so intense that his teeth were almost showing. Liu Yina was also shocked by the heartbeat sound. It was really incredible. Life is really amazing. Suddenly, there was another burst of noise from the monitor. Liu Yina also laughed. "Little baby is hiding again. Oh, are you hiding well? Mommy is coming to find you." Liu Yina also felt that the baby in her belly seemed to turn over, and then the strong heartbeat of Kei Yang disappeared, perhaps hiding out of shyness. The two interacted with the baby in a warm and loving manner, and they looked at each other and smiled. All of this is so warm and beautiful. Aunt Zhang, who was standing outside the door, was also very moved. Chen has really grown up. He loves his wife and children and even cooks for his wife. Aunt Zhang walked quietly back to her room. At around 9 o'clock the next day, Yi Chen woke up first. He looked at Liu Yina, who was still sleeping beside him, stroked her perfect face, smiled, and got up to wash. He was a little insomniac last night because he felt the sound of his baby's heartbeat was so magical that he didn't feel sleepy until around 12 o'clock, so he got up so late today. After washing up, he went downstairs and was about to make breakfast. He saw Aunt Zhang was already making breakfast, so he went back to wake up Liu Yina. "Wife, get up. After breakfast, we have to go for the prenatal checkup." "Well, don't worry about me, I'm so sleepy." Liu Yina turned over and turned her head away, still planning to sleep. But suddenly she seemed to think of something and suddenly sat up. "I have to go for a prenatal checkup today. How could I forget about it?" Liu Yina immediately jumped up from the bed. Asked Yi Chen, "Husband, what time is it now?" Yi Chen smiled and looked at her. "Take your time, it's still early. It's only a little after 9:10. Brush your teeth first. Aunt Zhang has already prepared breakfast. I'll be waiting for you downstairs. Don't worry, take your time." "Yeah, okay, you go down first. I'll be there soon." Liu Yina rushed into the bathroom and started brushing her teeth and washing her face. Yi Chen looked at Liu Yina with a smile and shook his head helplessly. Soon, the two of them sat together and finished their breakfast. Not long after Yi Chen finished his breakfast, he had already called a special car in advance. After breakfast, the two walked to the gate of the community hand in hand. After waiting for a few minutes, the car arrived. After arriving at the maternity and child health hospital, they found the prenatal department and saw their names still in the waiting line. So they asked the nurse about creating a file. So they filled out forms and information for a while and finally got the prenatal examination book. Then the nurse asked them to measure their blood pressure and weight first. After doing all this, Liu Yin's name was called on the radio after a while. After entering the department, the doctor looked at Liu Yin, then looked at the computer and suddenly screamed, "You're the girl who got pregnant with triplets naturally. I remember you. Is this your husband? He's quite a handsome guy, isn't he?" Liu Yin smiled and said, "Yes, this is my husband. Doctor, look, this is my prenatal checkup book." The doctor took the notebook excitedly, glanced at the data on it, and calculated the date. "You are only 3 months and 25 days pregnant now, almost 4 months. I looked at the data and found that your blood pressure is a little low, but it's okay. It will be a little low in the early stages of pregnancy. You can walk more after 4 months. We can't do the major fetal anomaly screening today. You can come next week, but you need to make an appointment first. And you have medical insurance, right? If you have medical insurance, part of the fee can be waived. 3 babies, you really have to be extra careful. Don't go to crowded places. After 4 months, the baby in your belly will start to grow rapidly. You have to control your diet and prevent the baby from growing too big, so it's quite troublesome. You have to pay attention to a balanced diet. Don't eat too much sugar or anything like that. Eat more eggs or something like that." Then the two of them, one standing and the other sitting, listened carefully to what the doctor said and nodded in response to the doctor's instructions. Novel, the school beauty, slept with the boy with a trick, and the boy had to marry her and was praised as a good man. The doctor went on to say, "Your husband is pretty good. He actually accompanied you to the prenatal checkup. He's a good father." Liu Yin smiled happily. "Yes, he is a good father and a good husband. He is good to me and my children." Liu Yin was very happy to hear others praising her husband like this, and she cooperated very well by measuring her waist circumference. The doctor also smiled and said, "Oh, how happy, I wish you happiness forever." Yi Chen and Liu Yin smiled and said, "Thank you for the doctor's blessing." After the two of them completed the prenatal checkup, it was soon noon. "Honey, are we going to look at cars today?" Liu Yin asked. "It's too late to go and look at the car today. Let's go tomorrow morning. You still have to take a nap in the afternoon, and you also need to have a good rest after dinner at night, so usually you only have time in the morning." Liu Yin, "Actually, it's okay for me not to go, just buy it yourself." "Is that so? That's fine. Seeing that you have difficulty in moving, it's not easy to take you with me. I can go and have a look by myself this afternoon. What kind do you like?" Yi Chen thought for a while and said, "I was thinking if our 3 babies come out, we must hire a few nannies. I'm afraid you will be tired, so it's better to choose a bigger car. Why don't we buy 2 cars? One is for when we don't normally take the baby out. After all, when the baby is born, we need to take him out for medical checkups and so on. If we use the usual car, it will definitely be inconvenient. If we buy another nanny car, it will be more convenient with more people sitting in it. What do you think?" Yi Chen had memorized the parenting book a long time ago, so he was very familiar with what to do when the baby comes out, physical examinations, when to give complimentary food, etc. Liu Yin's face was full of admiration. "Husband, how can you be so thoughtful? It's just that you have money. If you don't have enough, I can ask my parents for some. They have already prepared to give me a car as a dowry. How can I use my parents' money? Don't worry, my husband has money, don't worry. After all, he has a system. Now the system has rewarded him with nearly 10 million yuan, so he can buy as many cars as he wants. I invest on my own, and I've already sold all my previous stocks for a lot of money. You don't have to worry about the money. My parents' money is theirs, you don't have to ask them." Liu Yin was still a little worried. "Then I received 200,000 yuan for changing my statement. I will transfer it to you." Yi Chen immediately objected. "No, my parents gave you the change. How can they give it to me? You should keep it as pocket money. Come to think of it, honey, we've been married for a few days, and it seems like I haven't given you any pocket money yet. I really shouldn't have done that. Wait a minute, I'll transfer 1 million to you. Just think of it as pocket money from your husband." After Yi Chen finished speaking, he immediately took out his mobile phone and transferred 1 million to Liu Yin. Liu Yin was also dumbfounded. Originally, she just wanted to help Yi Chen buy a car, so she proposed to transfer 200,000 to him. Unexpectedly, she actually had an extra 1 million, pocket money. What does my husband do? How is he so rich? I heard from other students that his parents' company has shrunk. Moreover, his wealth has also shrunk a lot. How can he transfer hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars at any time? Liu Yina was also curious, but she was happy that her husband was capable. Honey, where did you get all this money? Did I miss something? Didn't I hear that your family was going to go bankrupt? If you're like this, I'm going to doubt whether I married a rich man. Liu Yina joked with a smile. Don't worry about the money, just be at ease and be the young mistress of our Yi family. My husband's money is absolutely clean money. It is earned by my own ability. That's right, even if it was a system reward, it was earned through my own ability. When Liu Yina heard this, she felt relieved. As long as it's a legitimate business and the source of money is clean, she doesn't care. She is a fool anyway and has no concept of money, so she doesn't want to care about money. Novel, the young man is a rich boy whose family has fallen into poverty. He marries a beautiful woman and casually spends millions. The beautiful woman is surprised. Originally, she was not very good at managing money, so it was naturally best to have someone managing the money now. It would be nice for her to have her own pocket money and have less worries. While Liu Yina was stunned, Yi Chen had already transferred 1 million yuan to her account and said domineeringly, "Your husband will transfer pocket money to you every month in the future. Don't save money for your husband. Your husband has money. Tell your husband what you want to buy and your husband will buy it for you. You should naturally pamper your own woman. How can you treat your woman unfairly? Money is earned to be spent. Buy whatever you like. Got it?" Liu Yina immediately stepped forward and hugged Yi Chen and said very moved, "Husband, you are so good." Yi Chen also hugged Liu Yina tightly. "Silly girl, you are my wife. Who can I treat if I don't treat you well?" After the two discussed it, Yi Chen had to go and look at the cars by himself. After all, Liu Yina was pregnant now, and her belly was getting bigger and bigger. She had to pay more attention to rest and not overwork herself. "Honey, are you going to take a leave of absence from school? How about we take a leave of absence for half a year, wait until you have the baby, and then we can go back to school, okay? I'm worried about you, too. Your belly will be so big by then. If you still have to go back to class, it will be too tiring and unsafe." Yi Chen suddenly thought of this problem, so he asked for her advice. "I'll just drop out of school. Why are you dropping out of school too?" Liu Yina asked in confusion. "Because I want to stand by you through thick and thin. When the time comes, we can graduate together in front of the little babies, okay?" "Okay, I'll listen to you." Liu Yina snuggled in Yi Chen's arms with a happy look on her face. Just then, Aunt Zhang called them. "Xiaochen, Auntie has something to do and needs to go home. My son has also returned with his girlfriend, so he needs to go home for a few days. Can you guys handle it? If not, I'll just go back for 2 days." "Yi Chen, Aunt Zhang, don't worry and go back. We can handle it. Don't worry about us." "Aunt Zhang, then I'm relieved. I haven't had time to buy food for today, so you may have to eat out." "Yi Chen, okay, Auntie, you don't have to worry about us." After hanging up the phone, Yi Chen rubbed Liu Yina's head, smiled, and said, "Aunt Zhang is going home for a few days. We have to cook 3 meals a day for the next few days. Now let's go to the supermarket to buy vegetables." Liu Yina reached out and held Yi Chen's hand, smiling, and said, "Okay, let's go together. I hope that in the future, I can be with you simply and happily for 3 meals a day and all 4 seasons." The two held hands and got into the special car. About 10 minutes later, they arrived at the largest supermarket in Xiangcheng. It was the first time for both of them to buy groceries. They were not familiar with the vegetable market, so they could only go to the supermarket to look for fresh ingredients. The two of them went straight to the fresh meat section, first took a look at the main dishes they were going to make today, and then went to buy vegetables, snacks, etc. The two of them discussed as they walked. "This steak looks quite fresh. How about having steak for lunch?" Yi Chen picked up a piece of steak and said to Liu Yina, "Okay, anyway, it's you who cooked it, so I'll eat whatever you cook," Liu Yina said with a smile. The two of them quickly bought all the food they needed, and had steak for lunch and fish for dinner. After buying the vegetables, Yi Chen planned to take Liu Yina away, but Liu Yina suddenly pulled Yi Chen back. "Wait a moment. Well, we've just moved into our new home, so there are probably a lot of things we haven't bought yet. Can we go to the living area over there and see if there's anything we need to buy?" Yi Chen couldn't help but wonder. He had come to the supermarket with his parents before and bought everything including toothbrushes, face towels, and slippers, right? What was he going to buy now? Yi Chen didn't lack anything, but since it was his wife who wanted to buy something, as a husband he naturally had to accompany her. Yi Chen thought about it and nodded. "Then go and see what you need to buy." Novel, the school beauty, has a crush on a boy, and after graduation she successfully marries him. The two of them choose couples supplies together. So the two of them went up to the living area on the second floor of the supermarket. Liu Yina picked up a pair of white slippers and asked Yi Chen, "Does this pair look good?" Yi Chen was confused. Aren't these men's slippers? Was she afraid that she would get pregnant and get fat and not fit into her current slippers, so she bought men's slippers? But don't women's slippers come in larger sizes? Why not buy a larger size? Yi Chen asked in confusion, "Aren't these boys' slippers? What did you buy them for?" Liu Yina smiled and said, "Who said you bought it for me? It was chosen for you." Yi Chen was stunned. "You chose it for me? Didn't my family already buy it?" Liu Yina was a little excited. "I didn't choose those for you. This pair is what I chose for you. Besides, I want to buy another pair that is exactly the same as yours." In fact, Liu Yina suddenly remembered to buy couple shoes for the two of them. Not only couple shoes, but also couple pajamas, couple outfits, etc. She wanted to be closer to Yi Chen. When the baby is born, she can also wear a complete set of parent-child outfits. It's really exciting. Yi Chen also saw through the little thoughts of the little woman in front of him, so he just let her do what she wanted. So Liu Yina picked up a pair of light blue slippers and asked, "How about this pair? I actually like pink ones." After saying this, Liu Yina pouted, seeming dissatisfied. Yi Chen couldn't help but smile. Let her be. Probably every woman has a pink girlish heart. This can also increase the relationship between the two people. Pink is fine too, just buy it if you like it. Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen in disbelief. "Would you like to wear pink?" Yi Chen spread his hands. "I'm just wearing it at home, not outside, right? My wife bought it, so I will definitely wear it." Liu Yina was instantly excited and said, "Husband, you are so nice." The more Yi Chen listened to these words, the more he liked them and the more comfortable he felt. Then the two of them walked to the place where couple outfits were sold. "We bought pajamas, coats, toothbrushes, face towels, underwear, etc., all as couple outfits." Seeing her choosing so happily, Yi Chen also smiled. Yi Chen had never been shopping in a supermarket with a woman other than his mother, so he accompanied her patiently to choose things. After she finished choosing, he pulled a bunch of things to the checkout counter in a shopping cart. Card swiping successful. At this moment, the system rang. "Congratulations to the host for completing the task of pampering his wife. I will return the reward to the host with 10 times the bill." Yi Chen's cell phone beeped. "Oh my God, 10 times, that's hundreds of thousands." Sure, it was only when Yi Chen was holding a pile of trophies that he felt that he must buy a car as quickly as possible. It's really troublesome to get in and out without a car. However, when the two of them came out of the supermarket, it was already almost 1:30, so there was definitely no time for them to go home and cook. So the two of them found a Chinese restaurant to have lunch, and then took a taxi back to take a nap. In the evening, Liu Yina was still sleeping, but Yi Chen had already started preparing ingredients early, ready to give Liu Yina a candlelight dinner. While Yi Chen was busy in the kitchen, Liu Yina came in trying on couple slippers and couple pajamas. "Honey, please try on the slippers. Do you think I look good in these pajamas?" Yi Chen put on the slippers that Liu Yina handed to him. They were pink slippers, and it was his first time wearing them. "Haha, I never thought that there would be a day when my pink girlish heart would be satisfied by my wife." After Yi Chen changed into the couple's slippers, he stood up and gently pinched Liu Yina's face, which had turned red due to excitement. "It's really beautiful. This color is the first time I try it. It just feels a little weird, haha." Yi Chen laughed, and Liu Yina also laughed. Of course, no matter what, Yi Chen is a straight man, and now he is wearing pink slippers. Novel, the guy binds the wife-loving system and takes the initiative to wear his wife's pink couple slippers for a huge reward. But being able to wear couple slippers with the one you love is also a kind of happiness. She also didn't expect that her husband would actually wear pink couple slippers with her, and she couldn't help but feel a wave of sweetness in her heart. "So does my pajamas look good?" Yi Chen said with a smile. "It's picked by my wife, so it must be beautiful." Liu Yina smiled sweetly and looked towards the kitchen. "What are you doing? I smell something delicious." "Yi Chen, I'm preparing dinner for today. I just made a salad, but I didn't put watermelon in it. You go over there and watch TV. It will be ready in about half an hour. This steak is already marinated. Once the flavor is adjusted, we can start frying it. It will be quick." Yi Chen has already prepared the borscht and is keeping it warm in the rice cooker. This borscht is very nutritionally balanced, so Yi Chen plans to ask Aunt Zhang to make it occasionally. Now the pasta is cooking in his pot, and the seasoning is being prepared on the other side. All that's left is to fry the steak. Because he had already set the dining table in advance, all he had to do was light the fire. With this advanced cooking technique rewarded by the system, Any ingredient can be easily cooked. This technology is really amazing. Yi Chen held a bowl of salad and pushed Liu Yina to the TV. Hurry up and sit over here. I'm going to close the kitchen door. I'm going to fry the steak later. Even if there is a range hood, I'm worried that you will get sick if you smell the fumes. So Liu Yina had no choice but to sit in front of the TV with a bowl of salad, leaving Yi Chen alone in the kitchen. In about half an hour, dinner is ready. Yi Chen brought up the prepared steaks. Liu Yina, who smelled the aroma, couldn't wait any longer and walked over. Wow, it smells so good. Liu Yina looked at the neatly arranged steaks and couldn't help but praise them. She has now realized that Yi Chen has prepared a candlelight dinner for her. I was so moved that I wanted to cry. Hubby, you are so nice. I'm so lucky to be your wife. Yi Chen smiled and said, You are the only one who is so sweet. Please sit down first. I will bring the food here soon, and there will be a serving of pasta. Yi Chen also carefully cut Liu Yina's steak, lit the candle, and then poured himself a glass of red wine. You are pregnant and cannot drink alcohol. I prepared a glass of hot lemonade for you. Cheers to our happiness. Liu Yina raised the glass of love lemonade and toasted with Yi Chen. Cheers to our future happiness. Thank you, husband. Yi Chen smiled and said, You can start eating now, you little greedy cat. I already knew you have been holding back for a long time. Liu Yina smiled. Who made your cooking so good? I feel like your cooking skills are better than those of Michelin chefs. Yi Chen was quite happy to hear his wife's praise. Hurry up and start eating. Liu Yina was really hungry when she saw such delicious food. Who told her husband to cook such delicious food? She really felt like she couldn't stop eating. So the two of them also buried their heads in eating. After finishing the meal, Liu Yina put away the bowl consciously. However, Yi Chen whispered, Put down the bowl, you are pregnant. How can your husband let you do housework with a big belly? Just sit aside and have a rest. Leave everything to your husband. As Yi Chen spoke, he drove Liu Yina to the TV and handed the remote control to her. This really is treating her like a princess. This touched Liu Yina's heart deeply. She glanced down at the pink slippers on her feet, then looked at the pink slippers on Yi Chen's feet, and suddenly felt that she was so happy. I am so happy and lucky to have such a good husband like you. Liu Yina was almost moved to tears. Yes, there are so many families whose husbands don't care about their children when they get home. But she actually found a good man like Yi Chen who can cook and do housework. At this moment, the system in Yi Chen's mind rang. Beep, congratulations to the host for completing the task of pampering his wife. The host is rewarded with 100,000 yuan. Oh my God, is there a reward for this? It seems that I am really getting to know this system better and better. Novel, a beautiful woman got pregnant after sleeping with a young man for one night and was forced to get married. The two dared not face each other at home. The next morning, Yi Chen got up early. He washed up early and went downstairs to the kitchen to make breakfast. He went back to the room and woke up Liu Yina. It was already a little after 9 o'clock. The book said that eating breakfast before 9:30 was very good for the baby and the pregnant woman, so he would always try to finish everything before 9:30 and then wake up Liu Yina. Just as he was thinking about pushing the door open, Liu Yina pushed the door open and walked out of the room. Maybe because she drank too much in the afternoon and went to bed early last night, she got up early as well. The two looked at each other face to face and smiled at each other. At the beginning, Liu Yina still had some concerns. After all, everyone was not very familiar with each other, so they would avoid each other most of the time unless they fell asleep. But after both sides confessed their love and spent a few days together, Liu Yina no longer minded being seen by Yi Chen without makeup. After the two finished their breakfast, Yi Chen also received a reward of 100,000 yuan from the system. While being good to his wife and children, the system will also reward him accordingly. Why not do it? Wife, I have nothing to do today. Why don't we go look at the car together? Yi Chen asked. Looking at cars, I don't know anything about cars. I only look at the appearance. Liu Yina replied. It doesn't matter. Just buy it if you like it. My husband has money. Liu Yina couldn't help but laugh. Oh, if you like it, just buy it. You have a lot of money now. If I like a luxury car worth tens of millions, will you buy it too? Buy. As long as my wife likes it, I'll buy it with a loan, Yi Chen said generously. Even if it is really a luxury car worth tens of millions, I can buy it. It's not like I can't afford it. I don't want a loan. If you go to buy a car, the salesman will like you to take out a loan, but the interest rates on those loans are very high. Liu Yina disagreed. Then I'll go with you to have a look. You don't have to buy an expensive car, just a practical one. A car is just a means of transportation. I don't think it's necessary to buy an expensive one. What do you think? Liu Yina didn't know how much money Yi Chen had in his pocket, But Yi Chen was only a senior student, and he had spent money to buy a house before, and his family had experienced an economic crisis, so he probably didn't have much money on hand. That's why she said this. However, she really thought so in her heart. After all, this car is just a means of transportation. There is no need to buy a too expensive one. It just needs to be economical, practical, and good-looking. Yi Chen also smiled with relief. Yes, so wife, you have to go and take a look, otherwise I might buy something recklessly. I have budgeted several million. The family must buy a nanny car, another car for daily use, and a shopping car for Aunt Zhang. 3 cars, several million should be enough. Several million? Even 3 million is a lot. You make money so easily, don't you? Husband, you are really good at making money. After hearing what Yi Chen said, Liu Yina couldn't help but be amazed. After all, 3 million is not something an ordinary family can afford. It's not 300 yuan, nor 3,000 yuan, it's 3 million yuan. Even if you buy 10 cars worth 300,000, that would be enough. But now Yi Chen said he would use 3 million to buy 3 cars. On average, 1 car costs 1 million. She didn't know how much money Yi Chen had left in his pocket. What if he spent all the money? He would have no money to raise children in the future. After all, she was pregnant with triplets. Yi Chen looked at Liu Yina's cute, shocked expression and couldn't help but laugh. Didn't I tell you that your husband and I are rich and not short of money? So buy it with confidence. Come on, let's take a taxi and go buy a car together. It's best to have a ready-made car that you can drive away right after you buy it. I've really had enough of it these past few days. I have to wait for a car every day when I go out. It's more comfortable to have my own car. Liu Yina also found it funny to see Yi Chen being so heroic. Sure enough, when men talk about buying a car, they get as excited as if they were injected with chicken blood. Maybe every man has a dream of buying a car. Now that it can be realized, I am naturally excited and thrilled. Novel, a poor guy married a beautiful schoolgirl and suddenly became rich. He even asked the girl to buy him a luxury car. Yi Chen took a taxi directly to the largest luxury car dealership in Xiangcheng, Minghui Car Dealership. Last night, Yi Chen had already fully understood the Minghui Car Dealership. This car dealership has all kinds of cars, both domestic and imported, so coming here to have a look is the best choice. Moreover, Yi Chen also looked at quite a few car models last night. Now I'm just feeling it on the spot, and what it feels like to test drive it. He now has nearly 10 million yuan to buy a car. As long as he doesn't buy a customized one, Yi Chen has enough money. Honey, do you have any car in mind? Liu Yina looked at the various brands of cars displayed in the dealership. There were many brands of cars that she had never even seen before. After all, Liu Yina didn't know much about cars and had no experience working in society. Therefore, the only vehicle information she could recognize were those of a few big brands, such as BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Porsche. Yi Chen smiled and said, "Take a look first. If you like something, your husband will buy it for you." The money he has now is enough to buy 10 or $8 million luxury cars, so he is naturally confident. If his wife says to buy it, he just gives the money. Seeing Yi Chen being so generous, Liu Yina also went to look at the car with peace of mind. Just look for ones that are similar enough. Those around a few 100,000 are enough, right? My husband said that if we have 3 million, that should be enough. So she pointed to the latest red Mercedes-Benz Mini over there. If I were to drive myself, I'd drive this one. You just said you wanted to buy a nanny car, so I'll buy this one. It's not too expensive. Liu Yina really wanted to buy a car of this type. After all, she would have to raise children in the future. Now Yi Chen was unemployed, and the money was getting less and less. It would be better not to spend money indiscriminately. Oh, this car won't work. When the baby is born, even if he doesn't ride in your car, if you go out with friends and buy things, you won't be able to put anything you want in it. It's better to buy a 4-seater with a carriage or something. It doesn't matter if it's a little more expensive. Just pick another one. At this time, the salesperson next to Liu Yina's eyes lit up, thinking that this deal had a chance. So he immediately showed his courtesy and started introducing her to Liu Yina. From her original brand to Porsche and BMW, she has visited the entire car dealership. She took one last look and said, "The other cars are too cool. Let's buy something a little more low-key, like the Mercedes-Benz GLC I just introduced." Liu Yina also compared many cars, and this one looked relatively low-key. Those Porsche and BMW sports cars looked like they were driven by nouveau rich. She herself always liked to keep a low profile, and this car, even with its high configuration, was only less than 600,000 yuan, and both the exterior and interior looked good. Yi Chen couldn't help but shook his head and said, "Wife, this car is not even worth 1 million. If you want to buy one, you must buy one worth more than 1 million to be called a luxury car. Pick another one. Liu Yina just shook her head. No need to look at it, just this one. I'm tired of looking at it too. Yi Chen couldn't help but hurried over to support her as if he was afraid that she was injured. Are you okay? Then don't look at it, just buy this one. I just chose it. I'll buy the same model as yours and then we can exchange cars. Let's buy a Mercedes-Benz AMG GT with a similar model to yours. As for Aunt Zhang, let's give her a Mercedes-Benz Mini, which will also be convenient for parking. Are you serious? But you haven't even bought the nanny car yet, but you've already bought 3 cars. You really spend money like water. Yi Chen smiled and said, money is earned and spent, and buying these cars only cost more than 3 million, not much. To be honest, I've been married to you for a few days, and apart from an engagement ring, I haven't given you anything valuable, so as a husband I still feel quite guilty. The salesperson next to him had his eyes shining. He sold 3 cars at once. How could he remain calm? Liu Yina and Yi Chen were immediately invited to the tea room. He immediately made a pot of tea for them, and Yi Chen very considerately asked them to prepare a glass of boiled water for Liu Yina. Since you are pregnant, you naturally cannot drink these strong teas. Novel, a young man's family fell into poverty, and he took his beautiful wife to buy a car, but he bought all the recommended top models. The male salesperson immediately picked up a calculator and prepared to do the calculation. Then he said to Yi Chen and the others, Mr. Yi, Mrs. Yi, is the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT you just said you wanted to order the top model? Yi Chen, of course I want the top-of-the-line model. All 3 cars must be top-of-the-line models. In fact, Yi Chen has already thought about it. When the car is back, he will drive the one chosen by Liu Yina and let her drive the one he chooses. Okay, the male salesperson replied with a smile, slowly took out a pen and paper and various tools and started to calculate. The top-of-the-line Mercedes-Benz AMG GT is 3.68 million. The new Mercedes-Benz GLC is 480,000. And the Mercedes-Benz Mini is 350,000. A total of 4.51 million. Look, Mr. Yi, this? The male salesperson asked Yi Chen tentatively. He was also very excited at this moment. With this order, his commission was also quite a lot. At least before this, the male salesperson had never expected that 2 people dressed so plainly would buy 3 cars at once, and the total amount of the cars had reached more than 4 million. Don't you have any discounts when buying cars? Yi Chen is not a fool. Of course he has to bargain when buying things. After all, no one's money comes from the wind, right? Seeing that the other party was also a wealthy and powerful man, the male salesperson immediately went to ask the manager to come out. After hearing what the male salesperson said, the manager of the car dealership immediately came out and greeted Yi Chen and the others cheerfully. May I ask whether Mr. Yi is prepared to pay in installments or in one lump sum? Of course it's a one-time payment, Yi Chen replied indifferently. It's just a few million, and he still has money in his card, so he feels there is no need to pay in installments. The manager smiled and said, we still have a big discount for car purchases now. The interior decoration is free. Let me make the decision. Mr. Yi is a generous person. 3 cars, total price 4.28 million. What do you think? Oh my God, 230,000 yuan is missing all of a sudden. Is the profit of this car so great? Yi Chen couldn't help but wonder in his heart, but he didn't show it on his face. Ask Liu Yina, wife, what do you think? At this time, Liu Yina was already shocked by the total price of the 3 cars. Just one car cost more than 3 million, which was really expensive. It's okay. You decide, I'll listen to you. Liu Yina didn't know how much money Yi Chen had made. At this moment, she just felt that Yi Chen was really rich. After all, even among businessmen, there are many people who cannot come up with more than 4 million at one time. Then can this car be driven away directly? Yi Chen asked the manager. As long as you pay the money, sign the contract, and complete the formalities, you can drive away directly, said the manager with a smile. Then let's swipe the card to sign the contract, Yi Chen said lightly. Just when I finished paying the money, the system rang. Congratulations to the host for completing the task of buying a car for his wife. The system will reward the host with 3 times the total purchase price. Yi Chen couldn't help but be stunned. I was so angry that I almost died on the spot. Oh my God. System, are you kidding me? Why didn't you tell me earlier that buying a car would give me such a high reward? If I had known earlier, I would have bought a luxury car worth tens of millions. Day by day, what is this? Soon, Yi Chen received 12.84 million in system rewards. By the time the people at the car dealership had completed all the formalities, it was almost 1 o'clock. Yi Chen drove away the most expensive car on the spot and asked the dealer to put license plates on the other cars before driving them home. When she got home, Liu Yina hadn't come to her senses yet. She actually came back in a car worth more than 3 million yuan. "Honey, why are you so rich?" Liu Yina couldn't help but ask. Anyway, until now, she still doesn't know that her husband is so capable. Not only did he buy a house worth tens of millions, but now he says he has more than 10 million in savings in his card. Now it's worth spending almost half of the savings to buy a car. "Don't worry, your husband is really rich, and you don't have to save money for him in the future," Yi Chen said in a low voice. After all, he felt insecure because this was the money rewarded by the system. Novel, the guy has a wife pampering system, and he can get money by pampering his wife, but he dare not admit to his wife where the money comes from. "It seems that I really need to do some investment in the future to make my money more rational. Although I have told Liu Yina that I am investing, I can't show her anything practical, so I can only coax her now." Liu Yina had no choice but to say, "I definitely hope you have the ability to make money. I still choose to believe in you, husband." Liu Yina quickly stepped forward and hugged Yi Chen tightly. He was her husband and the father of her babies. She would definitely believe Yi Chen. Time passed quickly, and soon it was time for the prenatal checkup and four-dimensional scan. Aunt Zhang's husband accidentally broke his foot while working and was unable to move. There was no one to take care of him. It takes about 100 days to recover from a broken bone, so Aunt Zhang had to take a month and a half off and only went back to take care of Yi Chen when her husband was able to walk and take care of himself. Fortunately, Yi Chen has nothing to do now, so he can take care of Liu Yina, a pregnant woman. However, Yi Chen has now begun to look for candidates for a confinement nanny and a babysitter. After all, when the 3 little ones are born, he will definitely have to hire a babysitter. Otherwise, several people will definitely not be able to take care of them. "I am not short of money now, and I cannot let my wife and children suffer." That day, he got up early in the morning, prepared breakfast, and then called Liu Yina to get up. Now Liu Yina becomes more and more sleepy, and she has a bit of a childish temper towards herself and is more dependent on herself. Girls all have tempers, let alone a pregnant girl, so Yi Chen also tries his best to care for his wife. In the past few days, Yi Chen also received a reward of more than 2 million for caring for his wife and children. Roughly speaking, his personal savings have almost reached 20 million. Now making money can give him motivation. After all, he has to support a family in the future. Not to mention the money for milk powder and diapers, he will have to hire a few nannies by then. Add to that the confinement period, and the expenses are not small. It's really difficult to move forward without money. After breakfast, the two drove to the hospital quickly. The baby in her belly is now almost 6 months old, which is almost 24 weeks. Her abdominal circumference is more than doubled than before. She came to the hospital today to make an appointment for a 4-dimensional ultrasound. Yi Chen held Liu Yina carefully and treated her very tenderly. If the pregnancy is a little more advanced, it would be very troublesome to go to the hospital. Liu Yina also protected her belly tightly. Now she is as big as others who are more than 7 months pregnant. Naturally, her belly is also very swollen, and there have been huge changes in her physiology as well. She had already anticipated that she would not be able to even walk out the door in the later stage. Now her belly was already so big at only 6 months old. At the same time, she was also very worried about what accidents might happen during delivery. After all, triplets are really rare. Yi Chen seemed to have guessed what Liu Yina was thinking, so he said to her, "Don't worry, your husband will take care of everything." Liu Yina held Yi Chen's hand tightly. She was also afraid. After all, it was her first pregnancy. It was normal to be afraid when facing the unknown. The two of them went directly to the place where the ultrasound was to be taken and waited for their names to be called. Soon, the two were called into the ultrasound room. This female doctor turned out to be the same one who had examined Liu Yina before. After the three of them greeted each other, she began the examination. The female doctor gently asked Liu Yina to lie down, and Yi Chen also used some connections to follow her in. He helped Liu Yina lie down gently on the bed. The female doctor gently squeezed some coupling agent on Liu Yina's belly, then picked up the probe and swept it gently. Yi Chen had already been recording a video with his mobile phone. He wanted to record this moment so that he would have a good memory of it when he gets old. "Well, the babies are all very well behaved," the female doctor said while looking at the screen. "Well, turn sideways and take a look at this shy baby first." The female doctor gestured to Liu Yina to lie on her right side. Novel, the guy slept with a school beauty for one night and got pregnant. He went to the hospital for a pregnancy test and was shocked by the doctor. I took another probe and heard a series of strong heartbeats coming from the instrument. Even though Yi Chen and his friends usually use some small fetal heart monitoring equipment to listen to the fetal heartbeat, they were still as excited as ever when they heard the baby's heartbeat at this moment. Listen, this is the sound of the first baby. Let's take a look at the second baby. The female doctor Quan He smiled very gently. Bang, bang, bang. The heartbeat is very rapid and strong. Did you hear it? Listen to the third baby. This baby is a little shy. The female doctor's probe was twisting. You can't hide anymore, listen. The female doctor finally found the little guy's heartbeat. The heart rhythms of the babies are all very good, very healthy heartbeats. The female doctor changed another probe. Now let's take a look at the baby's limbs and head. I only saw a dynamic picture suddenly appear on the instrument, and the location where the probe was detecting seemed to be amniotic fluid. The female doctor fumbled with the probe for a while before she saw the baby's face. Look at the eyes and nose, they really look like you, sir. Such a high nose. Yi Chen was concentrating on recording the video at this time. He did not dare to disturb the doctor. Hearing the female doctor praising him, he was very happy. Thank you, doctor. He held up his mobile phone, not wanting to miss any moment. He recorded everything and would show it to the baby when he grew up. The female doctor also smiled and said, You and your wife are both so beautiful. The baby will definitely be very beautiful when it comes out. Suddenly, the female doctor's probe seemed to be kicked by the baby. The female doctor also laughed happily. Why, you think so too, right? After that, the whole process went very smoothly, and the babies cooperated consciously. After getting the 4-dimensional results, go back to see the scheduled obstetrician. Liu Yina still made an appointment with Dr. Lai, who had performed her prenatal checkups before, so that the doctor would be familiar with her condition. Dr. Lai was also very surprised when she saw Liu Yina. After all, this was the only case of triplets she had come into contact with in her more than 20 years of practice. The three of them greeted each other briefly, and Dr. Lai took Liu Yina's 4-dimensional report, looked at the data on it, and then picked it up and compared it carefully. Then he said to Yi Chen and the others, The baby is developing very well now, but it is almost in the later stage. The diet should be light as much as possible to avoid the baby gaining too much weight in the later stage. This is very hard for pregnant women. Eat less fatty and sugary foods and try not to eat cakes, chocolates, etc. The doctor gave them detailed instructions and finally said, Pay attention to what you should pay attention to. If you don't want to exercise now, try not to go for a walk because your belly will get bigger and bigger. Also, you can reserve a single bed now. If you have triplets, you will most likely have to have a cesarean section so you can come to the hospital to give birth after the full term. After all, my belly will get bigger and bigger in the later stages. If I force a natural birth, it will be too risky for triplets. Yi Chen was also worried about these things. After listening to the doctor's advice, he immediately planned to book a single room to avoid too many people disturbing others. Besides, triplets should not share a room with others. Liu Yina just sat aside, waiting for Yi Chen to complete all the formalities. After all, she really didn't want to move at all now. It will be really hard to deal with it in the future. After giving birth to triplets, not only will there be an extra scar on the belly, but it will also become wrinkled and no longer have the elasticity it once had. The triplets will naturally be stretched bigger and uglier by the belly of the first child. When I thought of this, tears welled up in my eyes while I stroked my belly. I don't know if Yi Chen will dislike me in the future. Liu Yina actually realized that her thoughts had changed dramatically. She always put Yi Chen first in everything and thought about Yi Chen and the children first. Just like now, the more she thought about it, the more she wanted to cry. She also suspected that she had postpartum depression. She worried about this and that all day long and lived cautiously every day. Novel, when his wife is pregnant, the guy pays extra attention to the child, but this makes his wife jealous and depressed. So when Yi Chen came back, she immediately told him about her situation. Yi Chen was also a little worried. Fortunately, Liu Yina told him everything. Otherwise, even if he knew that she would worry about the child, he might not have thought that she would suffer from prenatal depression, which would be a big problem. Maybe I pay too much attention to the baby and ignore her inner thoughts. I can't do this again in the future. I should put her first in everything and, of course, take good care of the baby. Yi Chen carefully comforted her. Don't worry, how could your husband dislike you? If I dislike you, would I still be a human being? My husband will never, ever dislike you. Don't worry, you are my most beloved wife. You see, I always put your name on the car I buy. After a while, I will also put your name on this house. In addition, we will sign a prenuptial agreement. If we get divorced, I will leave the house with nothing. Is that okay? Liu Yina quickly held Yi Chen's mouth to stop him from continuing. What are you talking about? I'm just worrying about nothing. I don't allow you to say that. Okay. If my wife doesn't allow me to say it, I won't say it. Be good, don't have such extreme thoughts again in the future. After all, you are the woman who gave birth to my children. You also know what kind of person I am, Yi Chen, right? How could I do such an unethical thing? Yi Chen quickly comforted Liu Yina softly. After all, prenatal depression can be serious or minor, and it does not mean that depression will only occur after childbirth. Pregnant women must pay close attention to the main changes in their emotions throughout the pregnancy. After all, your wife is the one who will accompany you for the rest of your life. A few days later, Yi Chen's parents and Liu Yina's parents also came to see the couple. They came this time to process their leave of absence procedures, and it was their parents who handled the procedures for them. After all, Liu Yina is pregnant now, so it is still inconvenient. Now Yi Chen and Liu Yina have both applied for leave of absence in advance, and they will return to school 1 year later. Aunt Zhang also returned to work, and now the couple's life is becoming more and more comfortable. The whole family is together and having fun. One morning, Liu Yina's cell phone kept vibrating. Liu Yina was still sleeping and was awakened by the vibrations. She forgot to turn on airplane mode before going to bed again. I picked up my phone and saw about 20 missed calls and dozens of messages. And the messages were basically sent by her good friend and sister Gu Yingying from college. Liu Yina couldn't help but feel strange. What on earth was Yingying looking for her so urgently? Why did she call so many times? Liu Yina immediately called her good sister back. Nana, you finally answered my call. Gu Yingying seemed very angry on the phone. Liu Yina asked, what's wrong? Why are you calling me so many times? Gu Yingying yelled on the phone. You still want me to ask you, right? I'm telling you, I'm really angry right now, really angry, the kind that can't be appeased. You actually didn't even tell me you were pregnant and married in secret. Do you still see me as your good sister? Liu Yina was also shocked. How did you know that I was married and pregnant? Gu Yingying was really pissed off by her. You hid this really well. But did you know that someone in school saw you going to the hospital for a prenatal checkup with a man, and you were wearing a big diamond ring? There was also a man who went to buy a luxury car with you. Moreover, someone broke the news that this man is from our school. These things have been spread on the school forum and all online platforms. Everyone in the school knows about you, and you both dropped out of school together. Oh my God, it seems that everyone's guess was correct. Considering your previous behavior and the fact that you haven't been to class for such a long time, you must be pregnant. Liu Yina glanced at Yi Chen, who was eating breakfast, and Yi Chen was also mouthing, who is it? Liu Yina just smiled at Yi Chen. Novel, the school beauty, moved out, and everyone thought she was out for an internship, but she said she was pregnant. At this time, only Yi Chen and Liu Yina were left in the living room. Yi Chen's parents helped Yi Chen complete the procedures for taking a leave of absence and went back. They were now preparing to let Yi Chen take over their company. As long as they let Yi Chen come for internship a month in advance, they could come and take care of their grandson together. Liu Yina's father also went back, leaving only Liu's mother, who now went to buy groceries with the nanny. Liu Yina was holding a mobile phone in her hand at this time and whispered into the phone. They guessed right. I am married to Yi Chen, who is the same age as me, and I am really pregnant. Gu Yingying on the other end of the phone was silent for a long time, as if she had thought of something. Is it that day, the night you didn't come back to the dormitory? Liu Yina blushed and said, yeah. Gu Yingying sighed. Is this how you get married? There's not even a wedding. Don't you feel regretful? Does he love you or not? Liu Yina walked to the sofa with her phone and sat down. Then she slowly said, not really, because I am pregnant with triplets, so for safety reasons, I will hold the wedding after I give birth to the children. Yi Chen will not give me anything less than what he promised me. I have a very good relationship with him, and I can feel that he likes me too. Don't worry, how could the man I choose be bad? As Liu Yina said this, she glanced in Yi Chen's direction again. Gu Yingying couldn't help but be shocked when she heard this. What, triplets? You are a pig. Liu Yina was so angry at her words that she wanted to hit someone. You pig, your whole family are pigs. I am really pregnant and I can't bear to abort. These are 3 cute little lives. Gu Yingying sighed again. Alas, such a delicate flower is stuck in cow dung like this, and she's pregnant with triplets. I don't care, I want to be the godmother of the children. Liu Yina also smiled and said, "Don't belittle Yi Chen like that. Yi Chen is also very handsome, and I have told you that I like boys like Yi Chen. The position of godmother of the child will definitely be reserved for you, don't worry." Gu Yingying, then when are you free? Let's go out and have a good chat. Or where is your home? I'll go to your house. Has Yi Chen bought a house? I hope it's not the kind where the whole family lives in a small, shabby house. I heard that his family went bankrupt, is it true? Liu Yina, his family is not bankrupt. Don't listen to other people's nonsense. Yi Chen bought a house a long time ago, and I now live in number 8 Dijingyuan in the city center. I do live with my whole family. His parents are very kind to me. Yi Chen is an only child, so we will probably live together after the baby is born. You can come and visit me when you are free. I am almost 7 months pregnant now, and my belly is too big for me to go out. Gu Yingying was shocked. Number 8 Dijingyuan in the city center. That's a villa. When I have time in a few days, I must come to visit you. I really want to see the big villas of rich people. If you want to eat something or want me to bring you something delicious, tell me. I will definitely satisfy you. Good. Then let's not talk for now. I have something to do later. I'll come talk to you when I'm free, so that you, a pregnant woman, won't be bored at home every day. So the two said goodbye to each other and hung up the phone. Liu Yina had just put her phone back into her pocket and turned around to see Yi Chen staring at her. "What's going on?" Seeing this, Yi Chen asked, "I heard something through the phone just now. Did others know that you were pregnant after we got married?" Liu Yina also confessed directly to Yi Chen. "Well, someone saw me going to the supermarket with you while pregnant, and now the whole school knows about it. Everyone is talking about it and making their own guesses." "Yi Chen, do you want them to know?" "Liu Yina, why do you ask me this?" "Yi Chen, you are the only recognized campus beauty in our Xiangda University, and I am just a nobody. If I am with you, it will definitely have a certain impact on you, so will you." "Yi Chen, how can you think like that? In my heart, you are always the most handsome. Marrying you is the happiest and luckiest thing in my life, you know. You are the best." As she spoke, her face turned red. At this time, Yi Chen and Liu Yina had also made up their minds. Novel, the school beauty is beautiful, her family is rich. She is pregnant with a boy's child, and she even marries him, shocking the whole school. At this time, Yi Chen's cell phone also rang. It was a WeChat message from his roommate, asking him to check the messages in the dormitory group. After Yi Chen comforted Liu Yina, he sat aside and started looking at his phone. "Yi Chen, I heard that you married our school's beauty and had a baby. Is this true?" "Oh my God, I heard that the school beauty's family is quite rich. She is a white, rich, and beautiful girl. You are so lucky." "That's right, she's the campus beauty of our Xiangda University. She's pretty and her family is not short of money. You're so lucky." Boss Yi, tell us how we can woo a woman of such high quality. Let's go through a few moves, shall we?" "Yes, let's learn it too, and see if we can hook up with a beautiful, rich, and white girl, and reach the pinnacle of life from now on." "You forget it, Yi Chen is at least good-looking and his family is not bad. Who would like you, a loser? Even if they are blind, they would not like you. Stop daydreaming here." "That's right, don't you see that Yi Chen is better than you in every way?" Yi Chen really couldn't stand it anymore. This flattery was going too far. So he replied, "I told you before that I would marry Liu Yina, but you just didn't believe it. We are really married with a certificate, so it's legal." Yi Chen's words caused another great shock among them. "Oh my God, I really thought you were bragging. After all, not everyone can get the school beauty." "Me too. I never thought it was true, and I never saw you having any contact with the school beauty. I never thought you could get married to the school beauty in just 1 or 2 months. It's really shocking. So are you really pregnant? I'm still quite curious about this. I heard from others that Liu Yina was about to give birth." "Yeah, the timing doesn't make sense. Could it be that you are a cheap dad just for the sake of beauty?" Yi Chen just replied with a comma. He was really going crazy because of these people. Cheap dad. He must have a hole in his brain to be this person. Yi Chen is a real man. When I told you she was already pregnant, I just found out about it, so I told you about getting married. I'm a man, how could I be a sucker? Seeing this, everyone was silent for a while. "Good boy, you've married the school beauty. You're really fast. But you are awesome, I really admire you." "That's right, since you're getting married, why don't you have a wedding?" "That's right, can you at least treat us to a meal to celebrate?" Yi Chen quickly replied, "It's not that I don't want to do it, but Nana is pregnant with triplets. If we are in a hurry, it's better to have a big wedding first. Don't worry, I will definitely invite you to the wedding. Or maybe I'll take you out for a nice meal when I'm free." Yi Chen had a pretty good relationship with his roommates, so for the sake of his brothers, he just said he would treat them to a meal. After getting Yi Chen's answer, Liu Ming's 3 roommates stopped pestering him and said they were waiting for Yi Chen to treat them to a big meal. Only then did they calm down. Yi Chen then put down his phone and looked at Liu Yina, who seemed to be looking at something. So I leaned forward and asked her, "What are you looking at so seriously?" Liu Yina quickly put away her phone and looked at him nervously. "No, nothing." Seeing her flustered look, Yi Chen knew something must have happened. "What's going on? You have to hide it from your husband." Yi Chen walked directly in front of Liu Yina and asked. "Really, it's nothing," Liu Yina said with a guilty conscience. Suddenly, Yi Chen's phone started beeping non-stop. Novel, the boy married the campus beauty. The news spread all over the school, and his friends asked him to post some intimate photos. Yi Chen looked at Liu Yina with a smile and said, "I'll check my phone first to see who sent me so many messages. You should be ready to confess to your husband later." After Yi Chen finished speaking, he picked up the phone beside him and started looking at it. It was a message from his roommate urging him to check the group message, so he immediately clicked on it. The more you look at it, the more interesting the expression on his face becomes. I only saw that there were more than a dozen photos posted in the group. All of them were about him and Liu Yina. There were photos of her wearing a diamond ring, photos of them wearing couple outfits and couple slippers together, and some daily sweet photos. The last one is a confession message that Liu Yina posted in the university social confession group. The message read, "Holding your hand and growing old together, Yi Chen, I love you, and I love your Ine." OMG. Yi Chen originally planned to announce the news of his marriage to everyone, but he didn't expect to be delayed by his roommate. But Liu Yina on the side sent out the confession message before him. What they both thought was actually the same. So he walked to Liu Yina with his phone and asked her, "Nana, you? I originally thought that as a man I would confess to you first, but I didn't expect that you would be one step ahead, Nana." Liu Yina looked at him with a silly smile. "I have seen many other men confess their love to me, but you are my man, so I naturally have to admit it generously and tell everyone that you are the man I love the most." Yi Chen hugged Liu Yina tightly. He was so moved by this little woman that he almost cried. He picked up his phone, opened the confession group, typed, and sent a message. "I love you too, Nana." There were constant messages of congratulations from alumni, but on the other end of the phone, Li Avi was gnashing with hatred. Yi Chen let go of Liu Yina and said to her solemnly, "Silly girl, let your husband do this kind of thing in the future, understand?" "Yeah," Liu Yina replied with a smile. A few days later, good sister Gu Yingying came to visit, and Yi Chen happened to go out to treat his roommates to dinner that day. "Oh my God, when will I be able to live in this 200 square meter mansion like you? Oh my God, I really love this big villa." Good sister Gu Yingying stood in front of the gate of the villa and her eyes began to light up. "It's not that big, actually. There's a small yard at the back and 2 cars can be parked in the front. The actual building area is only about 100 square meters. Although your house is 3.5 stories high, the total usable area is about 200 to 300 square meters. I really envy you so much." Fuck him, who on earth spread the rumor that Yi Chen's family went bankrupt? I really want to beat him up. Before, I was worried that you would give up even bread for love, but now it seems that it's not that bad. Liu Yina smiled and invited her good sister into the villa. At this time, Aunt Zhang also came out to greet Gu Yingying, prepared tea and snacks for them both, and then went on to do her work. Liu Yina's mother also came down to greet her. "Oh, it's Yingying. My Nana often tells me about you. You are so beautiful." Gu Yingying also said generously, "Thank you for the compliment, Auntie." After chatting about some daily matters, she went to the backyard to take care of her flowers and plants. After all, these 2 young people have finally gotten together and are just talking in private, so it's better for you to be tactful. "Oh my God, Nana, even your mother comes to live here?" Gu Yingying asked in surprise. "Yes, I live on the 2nd floor now because I'm pregnant. When the baby is born, there will be a baby room on the 2nd floor. There are 2 rooms on the 3rd floor, one for Yi Chen's parents and one for my parents. My aunt lives on the 1st floor. There are 2 smaller rooms on the 3rd floor. I plan to hire 2 nannies when the time comes." "Oh my God, this really is a whole family living together," Gu Yingying exclaimed again. "Now that the child has grown up, do we need to move to a bigger villa?" "I don't know, I haven't thought about it so far. I'll wait until the child grows up." Novel, a school beauty married a poor boy. Her best friend complained that the boy had no job, but she said, "He has money." Liu Yina smiled happily, making Gu Yingying extremely envious. "Does Yi Chen have a job now? Or is he relying on his parents? I tell you, no matter how rich his family is, it's really not as good as being able to earn money on your own. You must make the most of his potential and don't let him get used to relying on his parents. Liu Yina smiled and said, "Don't worry, Yi Chen is a responsible person. He is not someone who will rely on his parents. He bought this house by himself and he didn't spend his parents' money. This house was bought a long time ago, so we moved in right after we got married." Gu Yingying couldn't help but be shocked. "Oh my God, I really didn't expect it. Yi Chen is so awesome." He started a business before graduating from college. What on earth does he do? How could he make so much money? Gu Yingying was really curious. After all, many people of their age still rely on their parents' money to go to college. Unexpectedly, Yi Chen actually bought a house during college. He said that he was investing with others and also bought stock funds and so on, and made a lot of money. You also know that Yi Chen's family used to be quite rich, but there was some trouble this year. I believe you have heard about it, but it is not to the point of bankruptcy. Liu Yina's face was full of pride when she said this. "That's right, my man is so capable, and as his wife I feel proud." "Enough, enough, look at how smug you are," Gu Yingying also said immediately. "Then who proposed marriage first?" Gu Yingying asked curiously. "It's him," Liu Yina replied. Liu Yina thought back to what happened at that time, and told her good sister everything. Gu Yingying nodded her head and said, "I didn't expect that Yi Chen is quite responsible. If he is like those scumbags and refuses to recognize people after pulling up his pants, what should I do? Keep your voice down. My family and his family don't know how we got married. We didn't tell them. Don't let my mother hear it." Liu Yina quickly covered Gu Yingying's mouth and asked her to speak in a low voice. Gu Yingying also shut up immediately, but her eyes fell on the big diamond ring on Liu Yina's hand. In fact, this diamond ring is neither big nor small. It is about 2 carats. It is an engagement ring bought by Yi Chen. She wore it all the time after she got married, but she has gained a lot of weight recently, and her hands seem to be getting swollen, so she can barely fit the ring. Liu Yina handed her hand to Gu Yingying with a happy smile on her face. "This is the engagement ring he gave me on the day we got our marriage certificate. Yi Chen said that when we get married, we should buy another pair of wedding rings. Doesn't it look good? He bought it secretly himself, and I like it very much." Gu Yingying also sighed. "Sure enough, love really makes people blind. Our school beauty actually fell for a man." "You're pregnant now, how do his family treat you?" Gu Yingying asked in a low voice. After all, she also heard from people on the internet about conflicts between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, and she was worried that Liu Yina would encounter such problems, so she just gossiped. "No, his family members are very nice. His mother likes me very much. They have thought of everything for us. Yi Chen's family members are easy to get along with, and they are all very reasonable people. You can rest assured that there will be no mother-in-law and daughter-in-law relationship in the future." Liu Yina looked happy even when she was talking about her mother-in-law. Yes, her husband is so outstanding, and even her husband's family treats her so well. What else can she be dissatisfied with? The two continued chatting. It was estimated that Gu Yingying would stay at home and have dinner before leaving. Novel, the school beauty marries a boy, but her girlfriends think he is not rich enough to be hers. The boy drives a $1 million luxury car, too. In the evening, Yi Chen finally came back. Yi Chen drove out in the Mercedes-Benz worth more than 3 million yuan. When he came back, he only saw Gu Yingying and Liu Yina walking in the yard. Today, Yi Chen went out to eat with his roommates at noon. Because he had to drive, he did not drink, so he sent his roommates home first before returning. At this moment, Gu Yingying was staring at Yi Chen, watching him get out of a low-key yet luxurious Mercedes-Benz. OMG, is Yi Chen's family so rich? He actually drives a Mercedes worth millions. This is the latest model of Mercedes-Benz AMG GT. Even the low-end model would cost more than 3 million. Judging from the interior, it must be worth more than 3.5 million. Gu Yingying is very knowledgeable and is quite familiar with cars. At this time, Yi Chen had already walked in front of the two of them and said with a smile, "Wife, I'm back." "Hello, you are my wife's good sister Gu Yingying, right?" Yi Chen extended his right hand to Gu Yingying, indicating that he wanted to shake hands and say hello. "Hello, I'm Gu Yingying. Wow, you are so lucky. You can actually marry our school beauty." Gu Yingying had naturally met Yi Chen in school, so there were so many rules when they greeted each other. "Yes, I am indeed lucky. Do you want to stay here for dinner tonight?" Yi Chen asked. "Yes, I plan to eat and drink here tonight before going home," Gu Yingying replied. Yi Chen smiled and said, "Do you want to eat anything tonight? I'll go buy it." "Oh my God, Yi Chen, you actually went to buy groceries. I never expected that." Liu Yina also pulled Gu Yingying and said, "I forgot to tell you just now, the food cooked by our Yi Chen is delicious." You are in for a treat tonight. I thought he would have dinner with his friends, but I didn't expect him to go home for dinner. Yi Chen smiled slightly and said, I can't bear to leave you and the child. Oh my God, can you please stop force-feeding me dog food? Although I'm single, I'm not the type to eat dog food. Gu Yingying protested while rubbing her shoulders. Usually in this situation, protests are ineffective. Liu Yina walked over, hugged Yi Chen's arm and smiled sweetly. Yi Chen hugged Liu Yina with his backhand. Although she was now belly bigger and had gained a lot of weight, it still couldn't stop him from looking at her with love. Gu Yingying ran away immediately. She really couldn't stand such dog food. But when she saw that her good sister was able to marry such a good husband, she was also happy for Liu Yina and gave her sincere blessings. In the evening, naturally, she stayed to finish her dinner before leaving. Yi Chen also knew what Gu Yingying liked to eat through Liu Yina, so he simply made a seafood dinner. Originally, they wanted to eat out, but considering that Liu Yina's belly was too big during pregnancy, it was not convenient to eat out. So Yi Chen cooked a seafood dinner at home to entertain Gu Yingying. Gu Yingying's eyes lit up when she saw the seafood in front of her. How could a foodie resist in front of such delicious food? She yelled, Everyone, I'm welcome. He picked up a hairy crab with both hands and started eating. She kept saying, Nana, you're pregnant, you can't eat so many hairy crabs. I heard it's not good for the baby. Liu Yina also smiled as she looked at Yi Chen, who was busy in the kitchen, and said, Don't worry, my husband has already cooked other dishes for me, so you can eat them without worry. If it's not enough, you can cook more, there's more in the refrigerator. Or you can stay at my house for 2 days, I'm bored at home too. Gu Yingying said as she ate, No, even though I have meals every day here, I still have to do my internship. It would be better if you take a leave of absence, but I can't. After hearing this, Liu Yina had no choice but to give up. Novel, the beauty is pregnant with the boy's baby, and it's triplets. She can't stand the frequent toilet trips during pregnancy. Soon, Liu Yina was almost 8 months pregnant. During her most recent prenatal checkup, she felt a little overwhelmed. The estimated weight of the 3 little ones according to ultrasound is 5 catties. One is more than 4 catties, and the other is also 4 catties. They are all relatively average, but it is a pity for Liu Yina. Whether it was at night or during the day, I always had to go to the toilet frequently, couldn't sleep well, was not in good spirits, had edema all over my body and could hardly walk. So the whole family was discussing whether to go to the hospital first, and then have a cesarean section as soon as the doctor says it is possible, so that neither the adults nor the children will suffer. Therefore, Liu Yina checked into the maternity and child health hospital while she was still able to move. Everything was booked in advance. I originally wanted to hire 3 nannies, but when I thought about the large family at home, I decided to hire 2 first. The confinement nanny was hired for 3 months, including the time when Liu Yina was hospitalized, so they had already adapted in advance. When the day of delivery really comes, if there is a confinement nanny there, everyone won't have to panic. Although Yi Chen has read the manual on raising children, he still forgets things at critical moments. It was also the first time for Yi Chen's parents and Liu Yina's parents to welcome a new life, so they were naturally extremely nervous. They all stood outside the operating room with nervous expressions. On the seat were a bunch of delivery bags, milk powder, diapers, and so on. Family members of Liu Yina are family members of Liu Yina here. At this time, a nurse in the operating room suddenly came out and shouted, Yes. Yi Chen immediately walked forward. I'm her husband, what's wrong, what happened? Yi Chen was so frightened that even his voice began to tremble, and he quickly walked forward. The nurse smiled and said, It's okay, both adults and children are safe. Yi Chen finally felt relieved and breathed a sigh of relief. I'm really scared to death. Because they are triplets, 2 of them did not meet the birth weight standard, so they will be sent to the neonatal department for a detailed examination. If there are no physical problems, the children will be taken back. Please sign here first. This is the admission notice. The nurse continued. Yi Chen was also a little nervous. Beauty, there shouldn't be any problem, right? The doctor said there is no problem, so we are planning to do a cesarean section. The nurse was also relatively objective and said, I can't answer this question for you, because if the child accidentally inhales amniotic fluid or has other problems when it is born, further examination is needed to know the result. But I just took a look at the child, and the sound is very loud. There is no big problem, so you don't need to worry too much. Yi Chen was also very nervous because he was quite nervous about the child. He was definitely worried that something might happen to the child. But after hearing what the nurse said, he felt more at ease. After quickly signing his name, the nurse walked back to the operating room. At this time, the nurse pushed the children out so that the parents could meet them. Yi Chen also saw his 3 children. The nurse told them that they were 2 sons and a little daughter. Yi Chen looked at his 3 children. His eyes suddenly became gentle, but somewhere in his heart seemed to be suddenly filled with something. His heart was full. Suddenly, the system rang at this moment. Beep, the host meets the children for the first time. The system rewards each child with 1 million in milk powder money. At this time, money was no longer a big deal in Yi Chen's eyes. He only wanted his children to grow up safely and healthily. Yi Chen's parents and Liu Yina's parents also quickly took out their mobile phones to take the first photo of their 3 children. Yi Chen asked worriedly, "Miss Nurse, why hasn't my wife come out yet?" The nurse said to Yi Chen, "Because the anesthesia was overdosed, she has to stay in the operating room for 2 hours for observation. Now, who of you will come with me to send the child to the neonatal department? Just leave one person here." Liu Yina's parents quickly began to worry. "Ms. Nurse, is my daughter okay? Nothing will happen to her, right? I only have this one daughter." The nurse said, "Don't worry, Auntie. Our doctors are treating her and she will be fine soon. We are just keeping her in the operating room for observation as a precaution." "That's good, that's good." Liu Yina's parents were also scared to death. So Yi Chen's parents accompanied the 3 babies to the neonatal department, while Liu Yina's parents and Yi Chen stayed outside the operating room waiting for Liu Yina to come out. Novel, the school beauty, planned a one-night stand with a boy, got married with a baby, and gave birth to triplets for him. 2 hours later, Liu Yina was finally pushed out of the operating room, but she was gasping for breath and seemed to have difficulty breathing. Yi Chen couldn't help but feel distressed when he saw it. "Nana, are you okay?" "Nurse, what's wrong with her?" Yi Chen was very nervous. He was really worried that something might happen to Liu Yina. "Don't worry, sir. The anesthetic is slowly wearing off. It's just that the anesthetic was given too strong, so there are some symptoms. Miss Liu is breathing through her mouth now, and she will get better slowly. It's not a big problem. Also, she will tremble all over when the anesthetic wears off, so don't worry too much about these. She's fine now. You can go back to the inpatient department with her and just take good care of her." Soon, the group followed the nurse and pushed Liu Yina back to the inpatient department and returned to her room. However, Liu Yina still feels very uncomfortable. She cannot breathe through her nose and has to breathe through her mouth all the time. When she returned to the room, Liu Yina was really shaking all over. The confinement nannies also came back, and they all told Yi Chen and Liu Yina's parents. "Mrs. Yi is fine now. Everyone can rest assured. We confinement nannies have seen many such cases. Mrs. Yi, don't have to worry. It will be fine after the anesthesia wears off. Just keep warm. You are shaking now. Don't catch a cold." So a confinement nanny named Li came forward to cover her with the quilt, pinching the 4 corners so that it was airtight. Liu Yina asked tremblingly while breathing, "Child, are you okay?" After saying that, she let out another long sigh, as if she had used up all her strength. Yi Chen quickly walked to her side, tightly grasped the hand that was receiving the IV drip and said, "Don't worry, our child will be fine. They just need to go for a checkup and come back. Don't worry, you'd better not be so nervous now." Although Yi Chen was very confused and worried, in order to comfort his wife, he had to pretend to be calm and act as if nothing had happened. "After all, my wife had just undergone a major operation, so I had to calm her down first. Also, the children's physical conditions had not been checked out yet, so everything was unknown." At this time, Yi Chen's parents also came back, their eyes full of worry. When she saw Liu Yina coming out of the operation, her eyes were red. Seeing his parents like this, Yi Chen quickly comforted both parents. "Mom and Dad, you don't have to worry. Nana will be fine once she recovers." The nanny smiled when she saw how warm Yi Chen's family was. After about 2 hours, Liu Yina finally recovered. Her nose slowly unblocked, and she could finally breathe freely. Liu Yina finally no longer had to suffer so much. She lay on the bed, crying silently. Liu Yina's parents were heartbroken when they saw this. Everyone is worried about the children, and as long as the children are fine, everything is happy. Yi Chen just wiped her tears silently and comforted her softly. "Don't worry, it will be fine," Liu Yina said with a heavy nasal voice. "Well, I heard them crying very hard in the delivery room, but I just couldn't help but worry in my heart." Yi Chen didn't know what to say, so he just asked, "The doctor said that if you haven't passed gas yet, you can only drink porridge. I've asked Aunt Zhang to cook it at home, and my dad will go home to get it soon. You just finished the operation, so you should rest and sleep for a while." When I saw the babies just now, they were all very well behaved, staring at us. It was just that the nurse had to send the babies to the neonatal department, so I didn't have time to take a closer look. But we took a few photos. Do you want to finish looking at them before you go to sleep? Liu Yina said excitedly. Quick, let me see my babies. Novel, the beautiful schoolgirl slept with the boy and gave birth to triplets for him, finally pleasing her parents-in-law. Yi Chen smiled, took out Liu Yina's mobile phone and clicked on the family group, a loving family. The group owner is Mother Yi, who gave the name to the group. The group is filled with daily photos of family members. More than a dozen photos of babies have been posted, and a video of someone crying in an elevator was also recorded. The little ones look quite clever. Liu Yina smiled as she looked at the photos. It seems that the babies should be fine. Liu Yina played the video of the babies crying over and over again until she fell asleep listening to the babies crying. She was really tired, but she was also very worried about the babies. The night passed like this. Early in the morning, Father Yi drove over to deliver Liu Yina's breakfast, a bowl of thin millet porridge. After all, the doctor had advised that she could only drink the porridge water, but Liu Yina would be very hungry if she only drank the porridge water. The doctor came to check on them early in the morning and brought them good news. The children are all fine and in good health. They will be brought from the neonatal department today to be in the same room with their mother. Now the whole family is extremely happy. This is great news. Yi Chen and Liu Yina finally felt relieved. After finishing the rice soup, I finally had a good sleep. When Liu Yina woke up, the children had already returned and they all gathered around the child to study. The 3 children were pushed back just after taking a bath, so now they are sleeping comfortably. Mr. Yi is usually a man of few words, but when he sees his 3 little grandchildren, his smile is so big that it almost reaches his ears. He also asked with a smile, "Wife, do you think this little granddaughter's eyebrows and face look exactly like Yi Chen's when he was a child?" Mother Yi hit him. "Keep your voice down, don't disturb my little grandson's sleep. That's Chenchen's daughter. They say daughters look like their fathers, that's natural." Mother Yi laughed softly again and said, "These 2 boys look alike like Liu Yina. They are really good looking. All 3 of them have high foreheads and are very smart." Mother Liu also came closer and whispered, "Yes, the 2 boys look so much like Nana when she was little. Oh, my little babies." Mother Liu also looked at the 3 children with a doting look on her face. The 3 children were sleeping so soundly, and one of them was even sucking his fingers. Mother Liu asked the confinement nanny, "Is the baby hungry? Do you want to feed him?" The confinement nanny said, "Generally, after taking a bath, the child will fall asleep if he feels comfortable. If some are not fed before taking a bath, they will cry and ask for milk soon. I wonder if Mrs. Yi has prepared breast milk. If you want to breastfeed, you can feed the child when they wake up. If you have 3 children, you can only feed them together, feeding one child at a time." Liu Yina had just woken up at this time. She was very happy to see the babies in the stroller beside her. She pulled Yi Chen and endured the pain in her body. "I want to see the baby." Yi Chen quickly held her down. "You are not feeling well now, I will hold her for you to see." Yi Chen was also worried that Liu Yina would tear her wound, so he pushed her back onto the bed. "It's okay, didn't the doctor tell me to move around more? I can bear it." "No, I've looked up information and talked to some mothers. They usually wait 3 days after giving birth before getting out of bed and walking. You can't do that now. If you want to see the baby, your husband will hold it for you." Seeing that he insisted, Liu Yina had no choice but to give up. After all, although she had a pain pump hanging around her waist, the contractions were really life-threatening. Today, the doctor pressed on the wound, which made it even more painful. So Yi Chen didn't care that the child was sleeping. He gently picked up his little daughter and came to her. At this time, the system rang. "Beep, the host holds a baby for the first time, and will be rewarded 100,000 yuan. Novel, a beautiful woman gave birth to triplets. The young man was so happy that he immediately held the baby. Unexpectedly, the baby pooped on him. Liu Yina kissed her daughter's cheek and smiled lovingly. This is her child. This is the flesh and blood that fell from her body. I was just laughing, but I started crying. Yi Chen was also frightened. "Wife, why are you crying? Isn't the child fine?" Liu Yina said, "I was so moved that I cried. I actually gave birth to a child, and I gave birth to 3 children." Although Yi Chen thought this soft thing was magical, he was also as sensitive as Liu Yina as a mother, and he also thought that children were magical things. Suddenly my hands felt warm, and my nose was filled with a sour and smelly smell. Yi Chen's hands froze. The kid pooped. I only saw the little daughter's face turn red. She hummed, and then started to cry loudly. Liu Yina looked at the child, then looked at Yi Chen's liver-colored face and couldn't help but laugh. "Wow, it stinks. Honey, smell it, this sour smell is really strong." So Yi Chen pointed his little daughter's butt at Liu Yina's nose. Liu Yina quickly covered her face and laughed. Go change the diaper quickly. Yi Chen's parents, Liu Yina's parents, and the aunts were also laughing. But Liu Yina's smile hurt her wound, and she was in so much pain that she broke out in cold sweat and had a look of pain on her face. Ouch, I can't take it anymore. My wound is hurting from laughing. Yi Chen was so frightened that he stopped teasing Liu Yina. Wife, are you okay? Liu Yina slowly calmed down. Hurry up and wipe your daughter's butt clean. To punish you, you must now wipe your daughter's butt yourself. It's April now, and the weather is not very warm, so the heating is turned on in the whole room. The confinement nanny said, if a baby girl has poop, I suggest you use warm water to wash her bottom, which is more hygienic. After all, baby girls have special physiological characteristics and bacteria may grow suddenly. Liu Yina finally reacted after hearing what Aunt Li said. Yes, Yi Chen is a man after all, and hers is a baby girl, so it is better not to let the father help his daughter wash. So Liu Yina said, then I'll leave it to Aunt Li. Another Aunt Chen immediately took the baby over, while Aunt Li went into the bathroom to get hot water. Yi Chen also laughed at this time. My son, come and punish me if you poop, haha. Yi Chen smiled and helped Liu Yina make the bed. At this moment, suddenly, a fart sound came from the two sons. Is it so scary? Two together? You two are so dishonest, you little bastards. In order to punish your father, are you all holding back a shit? Yi Chen also let out a long sigh. Liu Yina tried her best to hold back her laughter, but she couldn't help giggling. Mother Yi also laughed out loud. Let you experience the feeling of being a father. I raised you with all my heart and soul. Today, you become a father too. You really need to work harder in the future to earn money to support the family. Mom, I always try my best. Oh, I won't say any more. I have to change the shit sheets for my two sons. Yi Chen also pretended to be aggrieved and walked up to the two brats. The two aunts washed the little daughter's butt, while others wiped the shit for the two sons. However, Yi Chen was a new father and naturally clumsy, but he successfully completed the task under the guidance of Yi's mother. But the small quilt that wrapped my eldest son was covered with shit, so I had no choice but to replace it with a new one. As for the younger son, his words were wiped clean smoothly without any mistakes. The eldest son and the youngest son are also easy to recognize. The eldest son is a little heavier, weighing more than 5 kilograms, while the youngest son is a little thinner, only 200 to 300 grams away from 5 kilograms. The youngest daughter is about the same age as the youngest son. Now it seems that this older brother bullied his younger siblings a lot when he was in his mother's belly. Novel, a beautiful woman had a one-night stand with a young man and then got married with a baby. After giving birth, she dared not breastfeed in front of him. Because Liu Yina had a cesarean section and the stitches needed to be removed, the family decided to wait until Liu Yina had the stitches removed before going home. In this way, Aunt Zhang or another aunt helped cook the confinement meals and meals for several people at home and brought them to the hospital, while Yi Chen and others took turns to accompany Liu Yina in the hospital. Before, Yi Chen also wanted to go to a confinement center to recuperate after giving birth. He had learned about it from many sources, and it was not because of the money that he did not go. The main reason was that it was inconvenient to go to a confinement center, so he hired 2 confinement nannies. Nowadays, both confinement nannies have very good qualities, are very professional, and have good personalities. In this hospital, there are doctors to help take care of the baby and Liu Yina. Foot baths, acupoint taping, masseurs, etc. are available in the hospital every day. Moreover, Yi Chen also contacted the female clerk in the supermarket and made an appointment with a lactation consultant who could provide door-to-door service. Everything is ready, and Liu Yina will never suffer. After all, he had seen too many short videos about the irreconcilable hatred between women during confinement, so he would never allow such a thing to happen. It was not until the 3rd day that Yi Chen came back one day and happened to see Liu Yina feeding her little daughter. Liu Yina's face turned red immediately, and Yi Chen was also very embarrassed. After all, although the two had physical contact, Yi Chen was drunk that night and had no memory of what happened that night. At this time, seeing Liu Yina sitting there feeding, he felt really embarrassed. But there was nothing wrong with the 2 confinement nannies, Mother Yi and Mother Liu. Father Yi and Father Liu naturally avoided them as well, and no one knew where they went. Yi Chen said awkwardly, well, I'd better go for a walk outside. Aunt Li, the confinement nanny, also smiled and said, Mr. Yi, you and Mrs. Yi are already married and have children. Why are you still so shy? Aunt Chen, the confinement nanny, Mother Yi, and Mother Liu all laughed along. That's right, they are already husband and wife, but they are still like this. How can people not laugh? Yi Chen was also a little embarrassed. He didn't know whether to leave or not. Liu Yina blushed and said, "Go sit over there for a while, I'll feed you soon." Liu Yina's movements were also very awkward, and her movements while holding the baby were a little stiff. Yi Chen had no choice but to obey his wife's order and walked to the coffee table and sat down absent-mindedly. Just in these few days, I became a father of 3 little kids. I instantly felt like I had grown up and become much more mature. The responsibilities on his shoulders will be even heavier in the future. Looking at Liu Yina, who was watching the baby feeding with a doting look on her face, his heart was also warmed. I already have a wife and children, and my wife is such a loving person. I should be satisfied. All that's left is to concentrate on making money and raising the children well. After thinking about it, Yi Chen also breathed a sigh of relief. He has already completed half of the important things in life, namely, starting a family and establishing a career. All that is left is to establish his career. With 3 kids, the pressure is quite high. After all, I also want to work hard to make my children become rich second generations, and let my wife live the life of a young lady. The day of discharge from the hospital soon arrived. After removing the stitches, Yi Chen wrapped Liu Yina up from head to toe, making sure she would not catch a cold or get any postpartum disease. After returning home, Yi Chen picked up Liu Yina, who had just given birth, and carried her directly to the 2nd floor. The babies were handed over to their parents, and the confinement nannies helped to carry things when getting out of the car. The 2 nannies were stunned when they saw the villa and the multi-million-dollar luxury car in front of them. Even if they had served other people before, they were only in wealthy areas and lived in residential areas. Here they had never worked in a villa, so they were inevitably surprised. The 2 of them didn't care to be surprised, and quickly moved all the things into the villa. Yi Chen carried Liu Yina to the master bedroom on the 2nd floor. Liu Yina said, "Actually, I can come down and walk. My wound doesn't hurt that much now." Yi Chen said, "No, what if the wound is pulled? You just removed the stitches this morning. I can't take this risk." Novel, the beauty and the boy are a couple. After giving birth, she asked the boy to help her apply medicine, but she was shy because of the position. Liu Yina smiled like a happy little woman. "Am I overweight? I weighed 165 pounds when I was pregnant. I weighed myself 2 days ago and I still weighed over 120 pounds. It's not heavy. My husband doesn't think it's heavy at all. Even if you weigh 160 pounds, my husband won't think it's heavy. I will still love you." Yi Chen hugged Liu Yina and said affectionately, "By the way, when we removed the stitches, the doctor said that I have to change the dressing regularly every day. You may have to help me change it," Liu Yina said a little embarrassedly. After all, it was quite close to that location, and if she wanted Yi Chen to help her change the medicine, she would have to lift up her clothes, so this was what made Liu Yina embarrassed. After all, the 2 of them had never done anything more intimate when they were sober. "It doesn't matter, I'll do whatever you say." "Do you want to change now?" Yi Chen asked. No, I'll do it before I go to bed at night. The doctor changed it for me this morning and asked you to buy the gauze, the big-headed cotton swabs, and iodine. The doctor said that applying iodine to the wound won't hurt, so it's better to use this." "Does your wound still hurt now?" Yi Chen asked worriedly. "Now if you don't poke or pull it, it won't hurt. It's okay, the wound is almost scabbed over now, it just itches a little." "That's good, should I go buy you some gauze and other things now? I don't think we have those big-headed cotton swabs at home," Yi Chen asked. "Well, go ahead. Well, take care of yourself. I'll buy it for you. If you don't understand, you should ask the clerk at the drugstore for instructions." "Okay, drive carefully," Liu Yina ordered. Yi Chen silently noted down what Liu Yina had just asked him to buy, then went downstairs to say hello to his parents and drove directly to the drugstore to buy things. "Pharmacy?" Yi Chen asked somewhat at a loss. "Excuse me, is there any gauze for sale here?" The saleswoman said, "Yes, which one do you want? My wife had a cesarean section, and I want to buy her the kind that can be used to seal the wound." The female clerk suddenly realized, "Oh, for cesarean section, right? There is a kind of long strips which is most suitable for people who have cesarean section. I wonder how many you want." Yi Chen didn't know how to answer this question, because he didn't ask how many days the wound should be treated with the medicine. So he said, "Then I'll take 30 of them and also 30 of those big-headed cotton swabs. That's it. Give me a few bottles of iodine and then we'll pay together." Yi Chen had no choice but to make sure that he had just enough, and just like that, under the surprised look of the female clerk, he walked out of the drugstore with a big bag of things. Beep, the host cares about his wife and is rewarded with 100,000 yuan. Yi Chen couldn't help but roll his eyes. System brother, can you be more reliable? Why don't you reward me for hugging my wife? Why don't you reward me for buying a piece of gauze? Why do you always give me rewards in such an irregular way? Yi Chen was also confused. This system was really too irregular. But fortunately, as long as he did something good as a wife, the system would definitely reward him. Liu Yina couldn't help but smile when she returned home with a big bag of gauze. What are you doing? It will take another 10 days or half a month to heal the wound. If you keep applying it, the wound will not heal. Povidone iodine is better, otherwise the wound will get inflamed. Oh, I don't know, I've never bought any. I saw that the confinement period is about 30 days, so I bought 30. Look, the female clerk said that this is the best one for cesarean sections. Other gauzes will fall off easily, but this one won't. It's very easy to use. How about I put one on you now? Ah, no, let's post it tonight. Liu Yina quickly refused. She was just making fun of Yi Chen. She never expected that he was such a serious person. But fortunately, my husband treats me well, and that is something to be happy about. From now on, I really have to rely on my husband. Novel, the young man became a father for the first time, and when he smelled the milky scent of his daughter, he suddenly thought of his wife. In the afternoon, it's time to give the child a bath again. Yi Chen held his little daughter in his arms. Looking at the soft, fair, and tender little girl in front of him, Yi Chen's fatherly heart began to overflow with love again. I really want to give you a kiss, but you still have to hold back. After all, children are still very young, and there are too many bacteria on adults. Children have poor resistance and are prone to getting sick. Yi Chen looked at his little daughter lovingly in his arms, buried his head in his daughter's little blanket, and sniffed the milky fragrance hard. It smells so good, so nice. This milky scent smells just as good as the one on Liu Yina. Thinking of this, Yi Chen also paused. Because of breast milk, Liu Yina also has this kind of milky scent. When he held Liu Yina in his arms today, he was also attracted by the milky scent on her body. Yi Chen's parents and Liu Yina's parents were holding their eldest son and youngest son respectively, and two moon nannies were preparing hot water for the children, ready to take a bath. Yi Chen still feels that the little daughter in his arms smells good. After all, a daughter is a warm and caring little girl. Those two brats only knew how to bully their dad. The first time they did that, they had already taken a big dump on him. Yi Chen was both angry and amused at those two brats. The hot water is ready, the clothes are prepared, and the bath towels are in place. The three little babies are also ready to go into the water and take a bath. However, the eldest son seemed to have a lot of objections to taking off his clothes and cried loudly while taking them off. As soon as the eldest son started crying, the second son also started crying. This scene seems like a baby crying competition. Mother Yi also hurriedly comforted Dabao, holding Dabao's hands tightly. Oh, Dabao, be good. Dabao, don't be afraid. Grandma is here. Grandma is here. Father Yi was also looking at his eldest grandson with a loving face, and Mother Liu was comforting the second baby in the same way as Mother Yi. The little daughter in Yi Chen's arms was looking around with her big round eyes, as if she was very curious about everything. Liu Yina was also attracted by the crying of the child and walked towards Yi Chen with a smile. What happened to Dabao and Erbao? They are crying like this even in the bath. They have such a bad temper. Yi Chen smiled and said to Liu Yina, That's right, you are still my little darling. Liu Yina also came over and touched her little daughter's face with her hand. Little darling. She glanced at her two sons who had calmed down and walked over to them. You two should learn from your sister. At this time, Yi's mother said, Nana, don't come over. You can't touch these unboiled water during confinement. It's not good. Liu Yina smiled and replied, Mom, I know I'm here to take pictures. You guys take a shower. I'll take a picture of this scene and send it to the group. You can review it. So Liu Yina took out her cell phone and started taking pictures of her eldest son's face. The three babies quickly went into the water, and Yi Chen turned on his phone to play some nursery rhymes so that the children could listen while taking a comfortable bath. This is really comfortable. You can tell from the child's reaction. He closed his eyes with a look of satisfaction and wanted to sleep again. At this time, Yi Chen's system rang. Beep, give the baby a bath and get a reward of 100,000 yuan. All this seemed to be within Yi Chen's expectations. After a few minutes, I finished giving the baby a bath and stayed in the water for another 2 or 3 minutes before getting up. After all, the baby's skin is tender and cannot be soaked for too long, otherwise it will damage the skin. Liu Yina took photos and videos to record the entire process of bathing the three babies. After the three little babies had taken a bath, They were still humming and sucking their little fingers while they were being dressed. After they were dressed and wrapped in quilts, they all fell asleep. Fortunately, when I bought clothes, I bought both boys' and girls' colors. But now baby clothes are not divided by boys and girls. However, now the pink clothes and quilts are all given to my little daughter. Liu Yina also finished taking the photos and returned to the room. Novel, the young man is a new father. He carries his baby into the house to find his wife, but happens to see his wife pumping milk. After about 30 minutes, all three little ones started crying. The little daughter's voice sounded like a kitten, so sweet to her ears. Yi Chen held his little daughter in his arms and looked at the other two, thinking to himself, girls are still girls after all. Even their cries are so sweet to hear, and they will definitely be sweet and caring children when they grow up. At this time, Aunt Chen, the confinement nanny, came over with a bottle and had already prepared the milk powder. Mr. Yi, it has been more than 3 hours since the last feeding. I guess the baby is hungry, so you can feed him. This time it is Xiaobao's turn to drink breast milk. Yi Chen responded, okay, I'll hold Nana and feed her. After all, there are 3 babies, and Liu Yina's milk is definitely not enough to feed the 3 little ones. So they take turns feeding each time, and the other 2 little ones are fed with milk powder. Yi Chen held his little daughter in his arms and gently pushed open Liu Yina's door. As soon as he opened the door, Yi Chen's eyes widened, and he swallowed involuntarily. At this time, Liu Yina was milking. Yi Chen's eyeballs were about to pop out. Liu Yina also noticed at this time that Yi Chen was staring at her, and then looked at the movements of her hands. Turn your back immediately. She hurriedly said, husband, why didn't you knock when you came in? Liu Yina's face turned red with embarrassment. I'm sorry, I forgot. Yi Chen finally reacted at this time and quickly closed the door. In fact, Liu Yina is now in confinement after giving birth, and everyone will knock on the door before entering. After all, there are too many people in the family, and there will be many inconveniences. Liu Yina shouted, you can come in now. Only then did Yi Chen dare to push the door open. It was a close call. Fortunately, Liu Yina's face was only slightly red. Her complexion had returned to normal, and her tone was not blaming. Liu Yina said, it's been too long since we last had sex, so my breasts are a little swollen. Give Xiaobo to me. Yi Chen was also a little embarrassed. Okay. I put my little daughter in Liu Yina's arms and smelled the milky scent on her body. It was really intoxicating, just like the smell of children. Yi Chen stepped out and closed the door. However, the scene just now kept coming back to my mind. Yi Chen also gestured with his hands. It looked like this should be enough to feed his little daughter. Thinking of this, Yi Chen immediately got rid of the bad thoughts in his mind and went back to the baby room next door to look after the 2 little brats. The door of the baby's room was not closed, so Yi Chen walked in directly. He saw 2 little boys slurping milk. They sounded so sweet and cute that he really wanted to pinch them. Mom, give Dabo to me, I'll try to feed him. At this time, Erbao seemed to have heard Yi Chen coming back. He spit out the bottle and babbled something. Mother Liu also smiled. Look, you 2 babies, you also want your dad to feed you, right? Yi Chen couldn't help laughing. Well, you 2 little brats, you want to tire your dad to death. Although he said so, Yi Chen still took the 2 children, holding one in each hand, while Mother Yi and Mother Liu put the bottles in the 2 babies' mouths. The 2 babies were then willing to continue sucking milk. The smacking sounds of their little mouths made Mama Yi and Mama Liu look at the 2 babies with loving faces again. At this moment, the system rang. Host, feed the baby. The system will reward you 100,000 yuan. Mother Yi also smiled. Yi Chen, what if your 2 babies don't see you and don't want to breastfeed in the future? Yi Chen, there's nothing I can do about it. I can only be a professional nanny. I can't let my child starve. After saying this, the whole family laughed. Sometimes happiness is so simple. Having a family together and enjoying themselves is more joyful than having mountains of gold and silver. Yi Chen was very happy to feed his baby. After all, the system will reward you 100,000 every time. Isn't this much better than going to work? Novel, the young man binds to the Bayaba system and earns money every time he feeds his child. He almost vomits the child. I have to feed it every 2 or 3 hours, and there are 24 hours in a day, so I can earn about 600,000 or 700,000 a day. Where can I find a job that pays more than 20 million a month? But Yi Chen doesn't feed the baby all the time. He also needs to sleep and do other things. He only feeds the baby about 3 times a day, so it only costs about 10 million a month. After dinner, Aunt Li, the confinement nanny, brought over a bucket of boiling water that had almost cooled down, knocked on the door and entered Liu Yina's room. Mrs. Yi, you can wash your hair today. This is boiled water that has been cooled. I put some ginger slices in it to boil it. It's especially good for dispelling the cold. Yi Chen said, just wash it like this. Can I use shampoo? Sure, no problem, Aunt Li replied. Then let me do it, you give me the stuff. Yi Chen took the large bucket of cold boiled water from Aunt Li, and then took some waterproof tools. Aunt Li said with some surprise, well then okay, I'll help you get these done first and then I'll go out. So under Aunt Li's guidance, a piece of waterproof cloth was spread beside the bed. Liu Yina also looked at Yi Chen in shock. She never thought that Yi Chen would actually help her wash her hair. She slowly climbed onto the bed and lay down. Put this on first, then your clothes won't get wet easily. Aunt Li put a piece of cloth that looked like the one used for washing hair in a barber shop on Liu Yina's shoulders and said after she had arranged it, just be careful not to get your clothes wet, but be quick because it can't be too long or your head will get windy. So Aunt Li walked out of the room. Only Liu Yina and Yi Chen were left in the room. Yi Chen gently let down Liu Yina's black hair and smoothed it lightly. Then he wet her hair with water, squeezed in a little shampoo, and gently massaged and rubbed Liu Yina's hair. Neither of them spoke, but the air was very sweet. Liu Yina suddenly said, Yi Chen, you are so nice. Yi Chen was also stunned. Why don't you call me husband but my name? It sounds so serious. Yi Chen also joked, diffusing the awkwardness between the two. Yes, husband. Liu Yina also smiled happily. She knew that she was so lucky to meet such a good husband and father like Yi Chen, even luckier than winning the lottery. Suddenly, Liu Yina stopped laughing and said very seriously, Husband, do you know? When I was in the delivery room, I thought I was not going to be able to come out. Yi Chen said, Silly, don't think too much, everything is over. Yes, but I was really scared at the time because I was a little resistant to anesthesia when the doctor gave me the anesthesia. The doctor's words scared me, because if I resisted anesthesia, I would have to have a cesarean section or something like that. Also, the anesthesiologist gave me too much anesthesia. I couldn't breathe and I was still very sleepy after the anesthesia. The doctor kept pinching me to wake me up. I turned my head and saw that the pulse machine went to 0 as soon as I closed my eyes. I was really scared at the time. I was afraid that I would die on the operating table, afraid that I would be separated from my babies before I could even take a closer look at them. So I tried my best not to fall asleep. I was really scared at that time. As he said that, Yi Chen immediately grabbed Liu Yina's trembling hand. Wife, why didn't you tell me this earlier? Your husband didn't know that you actually encountered such a dangerous thing on the operating table. Yi Chen was also very moved and held Liu Yina's hand tightly. Only then did he see the tiny bruises on Liu Yina's chest. He couldn't help but feel heartbroken, and he gently stroked the bruises. Liu Yina slapped him and said, Why are you touching me? Wash your hair now. Only then did Yi Chen put his hands away in embarrassment. I feel sorry for you. I'm telling you this just because I want to talk to you. As for my parents, I don't want to make them worry, so I didn't tell them, Liu Yina said in a low voice. Yi Chen, my husband will never let you suffer like this again. We have 3 children, which is enough. Novel, the guy fell into the trap of the school beauty, so he had to marry her. But the system spoiled her to death. Yi Chen had already decided at this time that he would protect Liu Yina well and never let her get hurt again. And protect your children and all your family members so that they can live a happy life. Yi Chen had not yet forgotten the nanny's instructions. He quickly washed Liu Yina's hair and helped her blow dry it bit by bit. Then they asked the confinement nanny to come in and clean up the place, and the two of them went to take another look at the sleeping baby. It was already past 9 o'clock in the evening, and Yi Chen's parents and Liu Yina's parents had already gone to bed. The place was looked after by 2-month nannies and nanny Aunt Zhang. Seeing Yi Chen and Liu Yina come in, they all smiled and asked Yi Chen and Liu Yina to speak in a low voice. These little babies are quite well behaved. They don't have a reversed day and night routine like other children. They eat and sleep and they still have energy to play during the day. They are probably angel babies. When the baby wants to drink milk, the crying will be louder. I slept very well on the first night back home, and the adults also finally had a good night's sleep. Although we were in a single room in the hospital, it was still a hospital after all, and it was still quite noisy with people coming and going outside, so we always felt uneasy in our sleep. Yi Chen and Liu Yina moved gently to the beds of the babies and took a look at the 3 little pigs. Sometimes he hums, sometimes he stretches, sometimes he yawns. The more I look at him, the more I like him. Liu Yina also yawned at this time and pulled Yi Chen and said, Hubby, let's go to sleep too. The babies will wake up soon and they will probably need to be fed. I'm also very sleepy. Yi Chen had no choice but to look at the little pigs with a fatherly smile, patted Liu Yina on the back, took her hand and went back to the room. Liu Yina lay on the bed and stretched. "Oh, I'm so tired. I finally got home and had a good sleep. Although I still have to get up to feed the baby, it's better to sleep more soundly at home." Yi Chen also sat back on the bed and said with a smile, "Then it would be a wise move for us not to choose to go to the confinement center. Yeah, I'm used to my bed. When I was in the hospital, except for the time when I fell asleep due to exhaustion after the anesthesia wore off, I didn't have a good sleep afterwards. I was really sleepy. Then let's go to bed together." Yi Chen quickly got on the bed, covered himself with the quilt, and was about to lie down. Liu Yina suddenly exclaimed in a low voice, "Hey, husband, we forgot one thing." "What, is there anything else?" Yi Chen tried hard to recall and suddenly remembered something and said, "Oh, right, I still need to help you clean your wound." Liu Yina nodded and said, "Yes, hurry up, clean up, and go to sleep." So Yi Chen walked to the dressing table, took out iodine and a long bandage from the bag, and took out 2 large cotton swabs from a small bag. I walked to Liu Yina's side, and Liu Yina was already lying down. When Yi Chen came over, she silently revealed the wound that had been bandaged with gauze in the hospital. Liu Yina was still a little shy, not only because the wound was too close to there, but also because she had seen it in the hospital. The wound was really ugly. She was afraid of what Yi Chen would think after seeing it. It's not that he was disgusted, but the wound was still too ugly. Yi Chen didn't have any other thoughts and slowly tore off the tape. But the tape was sticking too tightly, and the skin had turned red, which seemed to be a sign of allergy. Liu Yina also tried her best to endure the pain of tearing off the tape, because it would be even more painful when cleaning the wound. Yi Chen glanced at Liu Yina, and seeing her trying hard to endure it, he said, "If it hurts, just tell me, husband, do it slowly and gently, and it won't hurt so much." Liu Yina rolled her eyes at him and said, "You'd better tear off the tape and give me a quick death." Yi Chen also laughed. "Haha, good, that's right. That's it, tell me everything so that your husband knows what you need and what you don't want. Don't hold back on everything." Novel, the beauty married the boy with a baby in her womb. After giving birth, she asked the boy to check the wound, but she was shy. Liu Yina was also surprised by the change. She would never speak so frankly in front of Yi Chen before. It seemed that the relationship between the two had changed a little. Yi Chen glanced at her and said with a smile, "Are you ready? I'm going to tear it apart. 1, 2, 3, rip." Hiss, Liu Yina gritted her teeth. Yi Chen was laughing but suddenly stopped, because he saw the shocking scar on Liu Yina's lower abdomen. Although the scar was sutured with cosmetic suture techniques, it still left a 15-centimeter scar. How could it be done without being visible? Moreover, the wound was still a little red and swollen, as if it had been pulled and some small blood had seeped out. Yi Chen was silent for a moment, then asked in a deep voice, "Does it hurt?" Liu Yina was stunned for a moment and said, "Actually, it doesn't hurt much now. If it is pulled occasionally, it still hurts. It has been 9 days now, and the wound is just itchy, but everything else is fine." Yi Chen said, "It's good as long as it doesn't hurt." He silently opened the iodine, dipped a large cotton swab in it, and began to gently clean Liu Yina's wound. How can it not hurt? A cesarean section requires using a scalpel to make 10 layers of incision, 1 cut at a time, and then sew 1 layer after another. How can it not be painful? While Yi Chen was cleaning the wound, he blew on it gently for Liu Yina. Liu Yina looked at the man in front of her whom she loved deeply with deep affection, and smiled happily. Her biggest feeling these days is, "I married a good husband, and a good in-law. Gave birth to 3 angel babies. It's really so happy." At this moment, she is nothing but happy. After Yi Chen helped her clean up, he put on the big bandage. "Wife, it's okay," Yi Chen said softly. "Yeah," Liu Yina responded, and then let Yi Chen put on her pants, pull down her clothes, and then cover her with the quilt. "Wife, do you feel tired of breastfeeding?" Yi Chen also got on the bed, sat on it, and asked. "It's okay. Apart from the fact that I can't sleep well, I still enjoy breastfeeding." "Do you really like breastfeeding?" Yi Chen asked. Yi Chen thought about it and said what was in his mind. "I'm still thinking, why not stop breastfeeding? I don't want to see you getting up in the middle of the night to feed. I don't want to see you sleep poorly. I don't want you to be so tired." Liu Yina quickly said, "I'm not tired, it's really fine. If I had a child, I would probably breastfeed. I like children very much, and I am happy to breastfeed my child. Actually, it doesn't matter if I'm a little tired. For the sake of my children, I'm willing to do anything." Yi Chen said, "Yes, breast milk is still very good. It is good for the baby's body and enhances the baby's immunity. But it is hard for you. You can't sleep well at night, and you can't sleep well during the day if you breastfeed. My husband didn't do it for any reason. I just don't want to see you so tired and twalled. I want you to get well soon and recover. Then we can go back to school together this year and graduate together." Liu Yina smiled and said, "Hubby, thank you for thinking about me so much, but you may not understand the desire of a mother to breastfeed her child. I feel that when I breastfeed my child, I feel better. After all, you also said that we probably won't have children in the future. So this is the first and last time I breastfeed my child." Yichen also laid down and hugged Liu Yina. "It's up to you. As long as you are happy, I don't want children, but if you like children and want to have more children, then your husband will also cooperate with you, right?" Suddenly, the atmosphere became a little ambiguous. A man and a woman, hugging each other in bed, discussing having children. It's really tempting to think about it. What's more, the woman next to him is so beautiful. Yi Chen took a deep breath and tried hard to suppress the desire in his body. However, Liu Yina kissed Yi Chen on the face at this moment. Chapter 51, You Are Playing with Fire. Yi Chen's face also tightened, and his breathing began to become a little rapid. "Nana, stop it." After all, Liu Yina had just given birth and was still in confinement. How could he be so impulsive? Absolutely, absolutely not. However, if Liu Yina continued to tease him like this, he was really worried that he would do something wrong. Therefore, you must try your best to control yourself and don't mess around. "I'm just teasing you." Liu Yina hugged Yi Chen's arm tightly. Yi Chen didn't say anything else. He was afraid that if he spoke, his defense would be broken. He let Liu Yina hold him, with her soft body pressed tightly against his. "Oh my God, how can I tolerate this? The person lying next to you is a slightly plump school goddess. Stop imagining it." Yi Chen tried hard to calm the heat in his body, and the two of them slept quietly in the same bed. In the middle of the night, Liu Yina got up twice to feed her baby. After feeding, Liu Yina dragged her tired body back to bed and fell asleep. Yi Chen also felt sorry for her. To be honest, he didn't want Liu Yina to work so hard. After all, it was not that she couldn't afford milk powder. But Liu Yina insisted on breastfeeding. But she was right. Breast milk was indeed good for both mother and baby. In addition to being good for the baby, breast milk also has great benefits for the mother. It can quickly restore the body shape and make the uterus contract quickly. But there is one thing, it is not very good for that aspect. Well, that is what Yi Chen thought. The next morning, after several hours of long sleep, the babies all cried and wanted to get up. After the confinement, nannies washed the babies' faces and brushed their tongues. And when everything was done, they started feeding the babies. Liu Yina also got up because she also had to breastfeed her baby. Otherwise, her milk would be swollen. She was holding her eldest son and feeding him, but he was defecating while he was eating. Liu Yina was immediately irritated by her son's poop and covered her nose. She quickly shouted, "Husband, come here quickly, Dabao has pooped again." Yi Chen hurried in. At this time, Liu Yina was still breastfeeding. He could only see the whiteness on her chest, and he froze for a moment. Liu Yina was also stunned, and she had forgotten about bringing her son out. The two of them were in a stalemate for 2 seconds, and Liu Yina quickly turned around and pulled her son off her. After everything was done, the eldest son was handed over to Yi Chen. But when the eldest son saw that he had no milk, he started whining again and was about to cry. Yi Chen quickly caught his eldest son, then quickly left the room and went to the baby room on the side. He comforted his eldest son and then wiped his butt for him. The second and youngest babies had already finished their milk, but the eldest baby was still hungry, so he started crying loudly. "Oh, dear Dabao, you will be able to eat soon. Wipe your butt first. Mommy is waiting for you, don't cry yet." While comforting him, Yi Chen quickly wiped Dabao's butt. When Erbao and Xiaobao were born, they were smaller than Dabao. But after more than 10 days of feeding, both children have grown a lot. Dabao was originally big, so he grew bigger and bigger. Sometimes it felt a little difficult to hold him. I estimate that he weighs more than 7 kilograms now. After Yi Chen finished, he rushed straight to Liu Yina's room holding his eldest son who was still crying loudly. "This little guy is very angry. If you slow down a bit, he will cry so hard that he has to be handed over to you," Yi Chen said helplessly. Liu Yina took the child and said to him gently, "Be good, Mom is here." The little guy was quite sensible. Knowing that his granary was coming, he immediately stopped talking and gasped for breath, but he didn't cry anymore. "See, you only know how to bully your father." Yi Chen was also a little angry. He really loved and hated this son. Liu Yina smiled. "The child is just hungry. He is not bullying you at all. If you give him a bottle now, he won't quarrel with you." After saying that, she turned around and started feeding Yi Chen with her back to him. Yi Chen also left tactfully. Chapter 52, Naming the Babies. During lunch, Father Yi asked Yi Chen and Liu Yina, "Son Nana, have you thought of names for the babies?" Yi Chen was a little confused. "Ah, not yet do we have to come up with a name so soon." Father Yi's face was serious. "Boy, you have to go to the hospital to get the birth certificate. You have to get the birth certificate before you can register the child. So you have to give the child a name first, understand?" Father Liu also smiled and said, "This is Yi Chen's first time being a father and he still doesn't know anything. Have you thought of a name in laws?" Father Yi smiled knowingly at Father Liu and said, "There are a few names for your reference. You can see which one sounds good, or if you have a better one, you can tell us about it for your reference." Father Liu just smiled and didn't say anything more. Mother Liu said, "Naming a child is a big deal and you must not be careless." Mother Yi said at this time, "How about this? We two old people will name the first baby, then you two old people will name the second baby, and the name of the youngest baby will be given to Yi Chen and his family. And then everyone can give their suggestions for reference, so that we don't have to bother thinking of three names. What do you think?" Liu Yina smiled and said, "Mom, this is a good idea. Naming is indeed a laborious task and it needs to be done carefully. I agree with this idea." Mother Liu also smiled and said, "That's good. Everyone can just think of one, that's right. I agree with what my mother-in-law said. That's it, go back and think about it for an afternoon, and then have a family meeting after dinner tonight." Father Yi made the decision on the spot. "My dear relatives, Nana, there is no concept of seniority in our family. You can call me whatever you like. There are not so many rules and regulations. We are a very easygoing family," Father Yi said. "That's good, now you can do whatever you want," Mother Liu said with a smile. After finishing lunch quickly, Liu Yina went back to the room with Yi Chen, ready to take a rest and take a nap. Yi Chen was checking the dictionary and his mobile phone. It seemed that he was quite concerned about naming his daughter. Liu Yina felt a little sleepy after finishing her meal, but when she came back from the meal, she found that her milk was a little swollen. Seeing Yi Chen sitting on the dressing table looking at his phone so seriously, she did not disturb him, but started pumping with a breast pump. Liu Yina's milk intake is actually quite sufficient now. Sometimes, after one baby has finished eating, the other one can still be half full, so it won't be long before she has enough milk to feed two babies at the same time. But with so much breasts, you can imagine how big her breasts are. Sometimes Yi Chen would stare at her chest in a daze, which made Liu Yina feel very embarrassed. After expressing, the milk is stored and placed in a small refrigerator on the side. This small refrigerator was specially bought for storing milk. In the bathroom partition, Liu Yina also bought one to store her skin care products. It was because of this small refrigerator that she thought of buying one more to facilitate milk storage. Liu Yina also felt that their relationship had more physical contact recently, but they were also slowly beginning to become a real couple, and they didn't seem to be so resistant to some things. At least sometimes, although it may feel a little awkward, after doing it more often, you will naturally get used to it. Just like just now, Yi Chen had actually noticed Liu Yina's actions. He also secretly noticed from the corner of his eyes that Liu Yina was actually milking in front of him. But fortunately, Liu Yina had her back to him, so he didn't have much imagination. Soon he found a name that satisfied him, so he told it to Liu Yina and asked for her advice. "Honey, I've already thought of a name for our daughter. What do you think of the two characters, Yu and Qing?" Liu Yina thought for a moment and said, "I think it sounds pretty good." Chapter 53, The Baby Has a Name. Yi Chen was also a little excited. After all, it was the first time for him to name his child, so he naturally felt inexplicably excited. Yu means pretty, intelligent, and beautiful, and has a beautiful meaning. Qing means sunshine. I like my daughter to be smart, pretty, and sunny, but I also hope she is healthy and happy. Yes, who doesn't want their children to live happily and carefree? Liu Yina naturally thought so too. As long as the children grew up by her side, and as long as the family lived happily together, she would be satisfied. Well, the meaning is very good. I like it very much. Yi Chen was in a dilemma at this time. I just don't know whether to call her Yi Yuking or Yi Qingyu. "Wife, can you tell me about it?" Yi Chen asked Liu Yina. Liu Yina kept repeating these two names and then thought for a while. "Then let's call her Yi Yuking. It will feel smoother this way." "Okay, just call me as my wife told me to. Yi Yuking, it sounds nice." Yi Chen said happily twice. "Then let's call him Zaire Aguegui. I like him the most. He will definitely be a cute and sensible little girl when he grows up." At this time, the system rang. "The host has successfully named the baby. Reward, 1 million. Oh my God, 1 million for one baby. If I had known this, I would have named all the kids at once. But forget it, one should not be too greedy, just having it is enough. Besides, 1 million is not a small amount. As I thought about it, I felt happy. So Yi Chen began to look forward to the future, thinking about how happy he would be when he was in his 50s or 60s, wearing the warm coat and socks bought by his daughter. As I thought about it, I started to smile foolishly again. Liu Yina is naturally very happy. Her husband attaches so much importance to children because it shows his love for children. It is always said on the internet that if a father loves children, then he must also love his wife. Liu Yina looked at Yi Chen happily with a silly smile on his face, and also laughed softly. After all, love between two people is better than anything else. And this is good for the children. The love between parents helps the children's physical and mental health. Yi Chen chatted with Liu Yina about other things, but seeing that Liu Yina looked sleepy, he let her go to sleep. After waking up, Liu Yina had to get up again to feed her baby. During the 10 days of confinement, she only went downstairs to eat, and sometimes she had to ask Yi Chen to bring the food up to her room. In the room, she seemed to do nothing except sleeping, eating, and feeding. Other things like washing bottles and changing diapers were often left to Yi Chen, and Yi Chen was never tired of doing it. But even if she didn't do anything, she still lost a few pounds. Maybe this is another benefit of breastfeeding. It's easy to get back in shape. Now she weighs 118 pounds. With her height of 168, she looks a little plump, and the flesh on her face has also been reduced. She didn't use a belly belt because it was uncomfortable. She planned to take a 2-month confinement period and then attend a yoga class to help her figure. While in the hospital, her good sister Gu Yingying had come to see her, and as a godmother, she naturally gave 3 big red envelopes to the children. She was also the only person who knew that she had given birth. Yi Chen hasn't told the others yet. When Liu Yina recovers, everyone can come out for a good meal and then discuss being brothers at the wedding. After all, when the time comes for the wedding, I will still have to rely on my brothers to support the scene. However, when Yi Chen thought about having a wedding with Liu Yina, he became excited. He knew that Liu Yina also wanted a perfect wedding. After all, she is also a woman. Naturally, she also wants her wedding to be grand. Yi Chen glanced at his pocket and thought about the wedding budget. It is estimated to cost around 10 million. Forget it, forget it. I have to wait at least a few months before I can think about this matter. I don't want to think about it anymore. Chapter 54, the names of the 3 treasures are determined. It was soon time for dinner. Father Yi asked, "Dear-in-laws, have you thought of a name?" Father Liu said, "Well, it's almost done, but let's see what your name is first, and then we can finalize it." Father Yi smiled and said, "That's good. Let's discuss it slowly after dinner." However, Father Yi did not ask Yi Chen at all whether he had also thought of a name for his little daughter. Yi Chen guessed that his father had thought of all the 3 character names. No matter what, facing his own grandson, he was so happy that he almost lost his mind. Soon, everyone finished their meal. Aunt Zhang peeled a large plate of fruit salad for everyone, but Liu Yina's portion was fruit boiled in boiling water with hot water still soaking in it. Liu Yina naturally started eating with peace of mind. Father Yi was the first to ask, unable to conceal his excitement, "Has everyone made up their mind?" Yi Chen said, "I've thought about it." Father Liu, "Well, I've thought about it too." Father Yi, "Well, let me tell you the name I chose first. Dabao's name is Yi Ruibo, what do you think?" Father Liu nodded, and everyone repeated it. Rui means deep understanding and comprehension, and Bo means richness and breadth. Both are meaningful. Rui Bo is a good name. Mother Liu is a teacher after all, and she explained the meaning of the name to everyone right away. "My mother-in-law is well educated," Father Yi laughed. Yi Chen expressed his opinion at this time. "I agree with this name, it's a good name, what do you think, wife?" Liu Yina said, "I think it's okay, let's just follow Dad's wishes." Seeing that his daughter-in-law and in-laws all agreed, Mr. Yi naturally smiled happily. Mother Yi said, "Then let's follow the old man's wishes. Dabao will be called Yi Ruibo, and his nickname will be Dabao." Everyone agreed with both hands. At this time, Mother Liu stood up and said, "According to the meaning of the name just given by my in-laws, Rui means wisdom, brightness, and saintliness. It has a good meaning. How about calling the second baby Yi Ruiji?" "Good, what a good name, Zhe, Minjai Shanghai. Ruiji is a good name, I agree." Father Yi immediately praised it. Seeing that her father-in-law was satisfied, Mother Liu naturally smiled with satisfaction. Mother Yi said, "This name sounds nice, I agree, Yi Chen Nana, what do you think?" Liu Yina said, "Well, I think so too." "Yi Chen, don't ask me, I definitely agree." When Mr. Yi asked his in-laws to name the second baby, he actually had his own selfish motives, which was about the child's surname. After all, Liu Yina is the only daughter of the Liu family. I guess his father-in-law and mother-in-law understood what he meant and wanted to give Erbao the surname Liu. But they didn't expect that the in-laws were so understanding and righteous. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Yi looked up to the two in-laws even more. At this time, Yi's mother said, "Then the second baby will be called Yi Ruizhi, and his nickname will be Erbao." Passed unanimously. Yi Chen also stood up and said, "Liu Yina and I gave Xiao Aguiguai a nice name, Yi Yuking. How about it nice, right?" Yi Yuking, Yu means beautiful and Qing means sunshine. That's good, Mother Liu explained. Sure enough, educated people just don't know that they can explain the meaning of words without looking up books or dictionaries, allowing everyone to understand the literal meaning simply. Mother Yi, and Father Liu all nodded. That's right, that little treasure will be called Yi Yuking, and the nickname is Xiao. Yi Chen quickly interrupted. The nickname is Xiao Aguiguai. This is my Xiao Aguiguai. Liu Yina almost choked with laughter. Don't be so excited, Mom must know that this is your little darling. Everyone started laughing, and at the family meeting, the names of the 3 babies were decided. Tomorrow, Yi Chen can take these names and his ID to the hospital, get the birth certificate, and then register the child. Chapter 55, All Wishes Fulfilled at Once. The next morning, Yi Chen took a piece of paper with his name on it, as well as some other documents, such as his marriage certificate, to the hospital, intending to get his birth certificate and household registration done today. After all, it will be a month in about 10 days, and then they will have to go to the epidemic prevention station for vaccination. The nurse had already handed out the vaccination booklet when they were discharged from the hospital, telling them to get the vaccination 1 month later, and then go once a month. But Liu Yina has to sit for the full confinement period of about 2 months, as the most important thing is to keep her body healthy. When Yi Chen arrived at the hospital, there was already a long queue, just like for childbirth. Yi Chen also waited in line for about an hour before it was his turn. When the nurse took some of his information, she looked at Yi Chen with surprise. "Wow, is your family the one that gave birth to 3 children at once?" the nurse asked with a smile. "Yeah, haha," Yi Chen just replied with a smile. "Your 3 babies have all been reported to our hospital. You are the first triplets in Xiangcheng, which is very rare, and it was a natural pregnancy. Usually, test tube pregnancy only produces twins. Triplets are really rare." "Did you come up with a name so quickly?" asked the nurse. "Yes, hurry up and register your household registration and get all the documents ready," Yi Chen replied. "Well, that's good. Please wait a moment. The birth certificates for 3 babies will take a while to arrive," the nurse replied patiently. The people at the back of the line also heard what the nurse said and couldn't help but be amazed. "Oh my God, 3 children at a time. This is a good yield. Yes, you are really a lucky person. So are all 3 of your children boys or girls?" Yi Chen just smiled and said, 2 men and 1 woman. "Oh my God, all my wishes are fulfilled at once," the man behind exclaimed. "Yes, my wish is to have 2 sons and a daughter. This is the best." Yi Chen just laughed and nodded. "Is it hard to take care of the kids?" "Yeah, can I eat a can of milk powder a day?" Seeing these people asking endless questions, Yi Chen just laughed it off. After all, he was not familiar with them and did not want them to know so much. Yi Chen waited for about 15 minutes before he got the birth certificates for the 3 children. At this moment, the system rang. "Congratulations to the host for successfully obtaining birth certificates for the babies. I will reward you with 20% of the shares of the maternal and infant brand, Liu Baby." Yi Chen was no longer surprised by the system's rewards. He already had nearly 30 million in his pocket, and now he was rewarded with shares in a company. Yi Chen immediately took out his mobile phone to check how much this maternal and infant brand was worth. You don't know until you check, and you'll be shocked when you do. The market value of this brand is 30 billion. If we calculate based on his current 20% of the shares, then the system has given him a total of 6 billion this time. If he sells his shares directly now, he can get 6 billion in cash. However, Yi Chen would not sell his shares so easily. This was a good amount of stock capital. Even if he showed it to his family, they would definitely believe what he said. And most importantly, running a maternal and infant brand is very profitable. With my 20% stake, the annual dividend will definitely not be small. Get rich. Yi Chen was completely immersed in joy, but the man behind him was urging him, and only then did he react. No time to be happy. After getting the birth certificate, Yi Chen still had to drive to the police station to handle the household registration procedures. When I arrived at the processing hall, I found that there were really a lot of people here. I had to queue up for a long time. Fortunately, Yi Chen brought all the things with him, otherwise he would have to run back home. As the stamp fell, the system rang at this moment. Chapter 56, Sending Nann a Villa. Congratulations to the host for successfully registering the babies. As a reward, the host will receive a 1,000 square meter city villa worth 200 million yuan. The location is number 6 Yulong Bay. The house title and keys will be sent to you tomorrow. Yi Chen was shocked once again. Yulong Bay, that's the legendary rich area. Anyone with a net worth of several billion in Xiangcheng lives there. There are buildings and villas there. The buildings alone cost tens of millions. The place where Yi Chen lives now is not comparable. Yi Chen is now in a villa complex far away from the city center. But that is the real city center. OMG. The villa there is worth 200 million yuan, and it is 1,000 square meters. If all 4 parents live in it together, and each child has a room, plus a room for the nanny, it should be enough. But the children are still young and cannot sleep in separate rooms. Wow, it's really cool. Yi Chen suddenly thought of something, so he asked the system. System, whose name is written on the property deed of this house. Yi Chen was thinking of buying a villa for Liu Yina. Now that the system has given him a reward, he can write the house as Liu Yina's. Reporting to the host, it is written as a couple. Can we change our name? Yi Chen asked tentatively. Okay. Then change it to my wife's name and just write it for her. Received host, changing it for you now. The system's mechanical voice replied. Now Yi Chen finally felt relieved. By the time I had finished everything, it was already around 1 o'clock. Because the place to apply for the household registration was too far away, I had to go to my parents' company, which took half an hour. When I came back at noon, Liu Yina had already finished eating and went back to sleep. Aunt Zhang left some food for Yi Chen. Recently, father and mother Yi would occasionally come to the company. They have also begun planning to move the company's headquarters here because they don't want to run back and forth. It would be great if they could see their lovely grandson every day. Moreover, the facilities in this community are also good. After dinner, you can take a walk with your grandchildren, play ball, etc., and have some fun. 3 grandchildren, just thinking about it makes me laugh even in my dreams. So they are already communicating about it. But the rent in the city is too expensive, so the couple is considering it very carefully. While Yi Chen was eating, Yi's mother came downstairs, sat next to Yi Chen and started talking to him. Yi Chen, you don't have a job yet. What are you going to do? I think your father wants you to take over the family company. Yi Chen smiled and said, Mom, are you worried that I can't support my wife and children? Mother Yi also smiled. That's right, at least you can have a proper job working in your father's company. I also know a little about the stocks you mentioned. Mom has often told you that you have to be down to earth. Now you have a wife and children and you have more responsibilities on your shoulders. You can't always rely on your parents. You must be able to do things yourself. Now your parents are still young, you can still rely on them for a while. The future path still depends on you. Yi Chen also nodded as he listened. This was true, but he also wanted to make it on his own. Besides, the children were still too young. With 3 children at once, even if he hired a nanny, the children still needed to be accompanied by their biological parents so that they could grow up healthily both physically and mentally. Therefore, this is one of the reasons why Yi Chen did not go to work from the time Liu Yina gave birth to the child. It is estimated that Yi Chen will wait until the child can walk before he feels relieved. However, if it means taking over his father's company, he has no objection. After all, his father is old, and now he has 3 grandchildren. Naturally, he wants to enjoy taking care of them at home. So this is also a problem. He can't bear to leave his baby, and he can't bear to leave his parents working so hard for the family. After all, he couldn't ask his father to close the company. This company was his father's hard work for more than 10 years. Although it was not large in scale and had experienced some ups and downs recently, it still managed to survive. Therefore, he had to consider this issue now. Chapter 57, Mother Yi's Shock. Yi Chen also replied, Mom, I know. I will consider what you just said. You may not know that I can own 20% of the shares of the national chain maternal and child brand, Liu Yi Baby. Mother Yi was also shocked. What did you say? That maternal and child brand chain store, I recently watched the morning news. It's a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. You actually have 20% of the shares. That brand has only become popular in the past 2 or 3 years. I think it has something to do with the people's livelihood policy. The country now advocates a 2nd child policy and even a 3rd child policy in the future, so these companies have begun to develop rapidly. So in other words, You started investing 2 or 3 years ago when you were just in college. Mother, you was still very shocked. 20% of the shares? That would be several billion. Even if they sold all their properties, they wouldn't still have tens of billions. Yi Chen was also panicked at this moment. He had not thought of this level. So I quickly went through it in my mind and started to think about it. It's just friends. There were only a few of us at the beginning. One of us wanted to open a store, and then slowly it became so big. The profit in the first year was quite good. We invested several million yuan, and in a year we opened several franchises in this province. We collected nearly 100 million yuan in franchise fees in a year, and everyone agreed with this way of expansion. As a franchisee, you have to buy everything from us, and then over the years we have grown to this size. Now, in more than 2 years, it has grown to this size. I didn't expect it. Now I get hundreds of millions in dividends every year. Yi Chen also tried to make his words as vague as possible, and he didn't care about anything else. After all, doing business depends on luck. After all, he does have 20% of the shares in his hands, so he is not afraid of being interrogated by Mother Yi. He just needs to fool the two of them. If they ask him in detail, he will have to say that he was not involved and it was just a friend who was doing it. After listening to Yi Chen's excuses, Yi's mother suddenly realized. So that's the case. Why didn't you tell your family? We were rich back then, but not like now. We are really going downhill now. But it's true. The world is ruled by young people now. Our old ways are no longer useful. That's why your father wanted you to take over the company. Yi Chen said, Mom, I have a fixed income now, so you don't have to worry about me not doing my job properly. I will bring the child up. As for Dad's company, didn't you say you would move here? If you encounter any problems that require money, just tell me. I don't have much, but I can still give you tens of millions. But I just bought a villa for Nana today. Mother, you was shocked again. What, you bought it again? This villa is good enough for you. Why did you buy a new one? Mother Yi really hasn't had a good chat with her son for a long time. She didn't even know that her son was so capable that he bought one villa after another in this city. Yi Chen said, Yes, the house is quite big. I was thinking that you and Dad, as well as Nana's parents, would live here together in the future. And when the children grow up, won't they each have their own room? So today I went to buy a villa that is 5 times bigger than this one, so that it will be big enough for our whole family to live together. Mother Yi's eyes widened. 5 times bigger than this place? That's 1,000 square meters, right? Oh my God, I never thought you were so rich. Tell me quickly, where did you buy the villa? Yi Chen chuckled. Yulong Bay, Villa number 6. Mother Yi was shocked again. Yulong Bay. I heard that it's a wealthy area, and the villas there are worth billions. You little bastard, you made so much money, why are you telling Mom only now? Chapter 58, you are so rich. Mother Yi also screamed. Yi Chen covered his ears tightly. Mom, I have more than just this one investment. I have others, but it's not convenient for me to tell you now. What, there's something else? Mother Yi was so surprised that she was speechless. It was the first time that Yi Chen confessed the source of his money in front of his family. There would be more in the future, and he didn't know what the system would reward him with. I only have tens of millions in my pocket now, so I still have a bottom line. Yi Chen said, Well, I won't go into details. Anyway, you just need to know that your son is not short of money. If Dad needs money, I can still transfer money to you. You didn't explain the company's affairs to me before, so I thought you could handle it. I didn't expect the family to lose so much money. Anyway, Yi Chen didn't dare to say that he knew his family was short of money. After all, he was the one who got this system most recently, so he naturally didn't dare to say such a thing. Mother Yi also gradually calmed down, but her tone was rather surprised. I can handle this on my own. As for you, as long as the source of the money is clean, I won't ask too many questions. You must not do anything illegal, understand? Mother Yi's worries were not unnecessary. After all, she suddenly learned that her son had become a billionaire. Although he was not a super rich man, he still had a net worth of tens of billions. I know, Mom. Although I have been doing business and investing in stocks without telling my family, I would never dare to do anything illegal. I can make so much money only because of my good luck. Yi Chen's words, all my money is due to luck, are indeed true. If he had bad luck, the system would not have chosen him. He might still be relying on his family to raise 3 children, and he might have to work hard in the future just for a monthly salary of more than 10,000 yuan to support a whole family. Or I could go work for my dad's company, but his company has been in recession in the past few years, so I still have to rely on my own hard work to support the family. Yi Chen thought about it in his heart. Now he has money and a house thanks to the system. Otherwise, he really can't support this family. After receiving a response from her son, Mother Yi knew that her son also had his own things to do, so she did not force him to come back to work in the company. Since you are the boss of a maternal and infant brand, why don't you let your own children buy things in your own store? As a boss, you should have discounts or something, right? Then you can save a little on the milk powder for these 3 children. You don't know that the A-dub milk powder that children eat now is imported and costs several hundred yuan a can. It's quite expensive. Does your store have this brand of milk powder? You don't know these past 10 days, these 3 children have had to eat a can of milk powder every day. They have already eaten 2 boxes. I was just busy telling you, but now I remember that you have to go buy milk powder today. And the diapers have to be changed to larger sizes because the eldest baby grows